Good evening, Patriots, and welcome to the Raw Feed. I'm Gary Franchi, and tonight we are bringing you the stories the mainstream media doesn't want you to see. If you're just joining us, you're part of millions worldwide watching live on YouTube, Rumble, and X. And do me a favor right now, hit that share button and text this link to 5 friends using your cell phone. Let's bypass the algorithm together. Now, before we dive in, I want to acknowledge our incredibly live chat community. You guys are on fire tonight. Your reactions and your insights make this show what it is. So keep those super chats and Rumble rants at the ready because we will be featuring them on screen between segments for the world to see. And remember, super chats get priority. And speaking of priority, we're just 45 days away from Donald Trump's historic return to the White House. And tonight's stories are absolutely explosive. The deep state is in panic mode. We've got the inside scoop on exactly why. So let me give you a preview of what we are covering tonight. First, the Swamp's desperate attempt to derail Pete Hegseth's Pentagon nomination. 2 Bronze Stars, combat experience, and they're trying to smear him? We'll tell you why they're really terrified. Then we've got Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy's Doge revolution is hitting Washington like a thunderbolt. They're taking a blowtorch to the administrative state, and the bureaucrats are running scared. But we're also going to be exposing Biden's outrageous pardon plot that could shield deep state operators from justice. It's not just about Hunter Biden anymore. It's about protecting the entire corrupt apparatus before Trump's return. Plus, Trump's border team is ready to unleash the largest deportation operation in American history. Sanctuary cities are panicking, and we have the exclusive details. And finally, those mysterious drone formations over Trump's property. What do they mean? And why is the FBI staying silent? Well, the truth will shock you, and so will the videos. Now, Patriots, we can't bring you this crucial coverage without your support. If you believe in our mission to expose the truth, please consider donating through the links in the description. Every dollar helps us fight back against the mainstream media's propaganda machine. And don't forget to visit our brand new merch shop at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. We've launched our exclusive limited edition MAGAvengers collection. So gear up and show the world where you stand. So get ready for an explosive show and keep those comments coming. We are reading every single one, and your voice matters. The storm is here, Patriots, and the Raw Feed is your beacon through the chaos. Now let's welcome you to the show. Who's here tonight? Mike Kingsbury, what's up? Good to see you here. Mr. Furball is here. Ned Kelly, See Australia with me. Rose Wen is here. Nunya is here. Janice Keller, Mrs. Mom, Ned. The whole gang is here. Remember to, in the chat room, sound off from your city, your state, your country, wherever you're watching from. Arnold Schmidt is here. Western Alberta, and it's cold. Tim Spa's here. James Ellie is here. Jeanette is here. Rachel from Australia. What's up, Australia? Stay positive 126. Rock Stop is here. What's up, my friend? And we've got our first super chat just coming in from Craig. What does Craig have to say? We're going to find out in just a second. We got Shannon from Wisconsin here. Kathy in New Jersey. We got Ortis in Connecticut. Deborah in Florida. The gang is here. Let's see what the super chat's all about. Already, you guys are sending super chats in. Craig says, love the show, Gary. Well, Craig, we love you at the Next News Network. $10. Thank you for that. Getting our show off to a good, solid start. Another super chat. Scooby Dragon, Nebraska reporting. Howdy, people. All right. We've got $12 already, and the show is just beginning. I wonder what number we're going to hit tonight. Well, you guys will be the determining factor in that. If I do a good job, if Brian does a good job, then make sure you give us a tip, would you? We appreciate that. Okay. Oh, wait, another one. San Diego. Chantha dropping $5. Wow, they're already starting to come in. Look at that. How cool. The super chat function is pretty neat. San Diego, Chantha's here. What's up? Thank you for the $5. Much appreciated. Much appreciated indeed. Who else is in the house tonight? We got Joy in Palm Springs. We've got Kaliza in Massachusetts. Sabrina American Nana, happy Friday. Brand 47, sure you is here. And Lynn in Nebraska, we've got Dave Wallenberg and Sal Blake and Monstra Pathos and Tommy Thompson. Respect to the donors. Thank you. Daryl is here from Marshall, Illinois. Art and Crazy Grammy. We got Kelly in Omaha and another super chat from across the pond. I always love it when I see money flowing in from overseas. Let's see what this is. Davey, he says, with love from the UK, £2 sterling. Ha ha! Thank you for that. I'll give you my best English accent, Davey. I don't know if I did you guys any justice or not, but we thank you, Davey, for that. All right, who else is in the house tonight? Let's see. It's Friday. It's late. Who cares, right? Cat's here. Wait, another one. Rumble rants are just better. Uh-oh. Are we going to have a Rumble rant war? From this is from B. Wait, wait. Oh, we're getting some Aussie cash. Wait a second, guys. Wait a second. So we're getting wait a minute. All right, so we got the Rumble war coming already from BD Tree. Another one. Wow, you guys are already just kicking each other's. You guys are trying to one up each other. I can see it. Okay, let me see here. BD Tree 13. Rumble rants are just better. And then we got Phoenix Starborn dropping $5 Australian. He says, "Good day, mate, from North Queensland, Australia." Did I do that one good? Was that good? Did I do that? My only Australian is from my only Australian accents influences from Crocodile Dundee. I'm sorry, that's the best I can give you. And of course, Elijah Schaefer's wife. Yeah, that's the only Australian influence I have. And then we've got Thomas. Wait, Thomas is dropping 5 already. A Sheba dog super sticker. Thank you for the $5. Frosty Sprinkles dropping $2. What's up? Keep up the good work, Gary Franchi. And then we got Debbie dropping $2. You guys are just like throwing cash on me. Remember, this is not a strip show. I do not take my clothes off. But maybe we'll see. We'll see how the night goes. Betty, $2. Thank you. We got Carmine dropping $9.99. Couldn't quite hit the $10. Couldn't throw that extra penny in, but we'll take it. Thank you, Carmine, for that. We appreciate it. Angela here. She actually was able to find another penny. And she just went up to you, Carmine. I'm sorry. Angela, she says, "Hey, they're from Roswell, New Mexico." Oh, Roswell. Ah, Roswell. We know what Roswell's famous for. Little green men. And then we got the Southern Ninja. What's up, Southern Ninja? Dropping a 10 spot right there from North Carolina. What's up, Southern Ninja? Wow, you guys are already like just throwing the cash down. Appreciate it. $61.74. That is a great start to our Friday night party on the Raw feed. We got some news to get to. I mean, if you guys want to keep throwing super chats and trying to like one up each other, that's fine with me. We'll keep going. Brand 47, the road to 2.5K. Yeah, we'll see about that. That would be nice, wouldn't it? Okay, Pothead Kenny in the mix. Our whoa. Wait a minute. Whoa. Wait a minute. Someone just one-upped all y'all. Masteroid Guft. First time donation. Everyone give him an applause. First time donation. Keep the deep state on the run. MAGA. Thanks, Gary. Next News Network and 47. There's the applause we were looking for. Keep the deep state on the run. 47 President Trump. Double up the next super chat. You guys all here. Oh, look at Davey. Okay, that was a little bit of an Aussie style. Hang on, let me try to perfect that here. We've got Davey, character flying in the air with a red cape and a smile on his face. Wow, you guys, BK Dill 51, another one. You guys just want to keep throwing cash. Another one. Whoa, come on, guys. We got a show to start. Okay. People in the chat like, come on, guys. We want the news. Stop giving Franchi money. Sheba Dog. What is it? Shouting good luck. Thank you. BK Dill 51. Sure, you, one of our moderators, dropping $2, can always do the Trump dance. No. You want me to stand up and do the Trump dance? Is that what you're gonna try to make me do? Yeah, maybe if we hit $1,000 tonight, I'll get up and do the Trump dance, and then you'll be able to see if I'm wearing pants. You'd be shocked. Okay, let's see. Chanta, another one. Another $10 from Chanta, hitting the 10 spot. Let the show begin. He wants the show. Well, the show has already started. We are already started. Okay, are you guys done? Are you guys good now? Can we begin? All right, I think we're ready. Brian's taking the chat down. He's giving me the signal. We've already been on for 15 minutes, and we're at $116.47. Oh, wow. I'm going to have to text Angie already and be like, honey. Okay. Trump dance in the undies, American Nana. No. You guys don't want to see if I'm wearing pants or not. But you'll find out if we hit $1,000, I promise. All right. Mama Callis, she's puking already. Okay. All right, let's go. The deep state is showing its true colors tonight, Patriots. Pete Hegseth, the decorated combat veteran with 2 Bronze Stars, is under attack from the very establishment he's pledged to reform. We've got explosive new details about how Joni Ernst and her Rhino allies are trying to torpedo his nomination, and wait until you hear why. Does it have something to do with the billions in artillery contracts flowing through Iowa? The military-industrial complex is trembling at the prospect of a real warrior taking control of the Pentagon. It's not just about a nomination. It's about the future of American military leadership. And Patriots, speaking of military leadership, did you know the American dollar used to represent real strength, just like our armed forces? But in 1971, politicians stripped our currency of its gold backing. It's been losing value ever since. Meanwhile, military brass get richer while our soldiers struggle, and that's why I trust Global Gold Investments. They understand real value just like real warriors do. Call that number on the screen, 888-700-4148, and mention Next News for their Wealth 2024 Protection Guide and a free portfolio analysis. Don't let your retirement get ambushed by inflation. Secure your future with America's leading precious metals company. Call that number, 888-700-4148, or visit IRAGoldproof.com. Mention Gary Franchi for up to $1,000 in free silver with your retirement rollover this December. Now, let's get into it. So, Pete Hegseth's under fire. There's been a lot of new nominations. We're going to get to some of those later in the segment. But the deep state doesn't want this guy taking the reins of the Pentagon. They certainly don't. And we have some idea as to why. Let's listen to what Joni Ernst has to say. She's one of the biggest opponents here.
It has been, I think we can all recognize it has been a very emotional day. What I took away is that President Zelensky really is a fearless leader, and he is extremely inspirational to his people and to the rest of the world. But what we heard from the president this morning, President Zelensky, was that they need more help. They don't need it yesterday, tomorrow. They need it today. And we need to step up, and America must do more. Providing the Ukrainians with the type of lethal aid they need, which, yes, includes MiGs, provides for air superiority, provides for additional surface-to-air missiles. Whatever those means are, this administration should be signaling to President Zelensky, we are here to help, and we are here to provide. And by doing so, that will signal...
I mean, wait a minute, Joni. Haven't we already signaled that? How many more billions do we need to send to Ukraine? I mean, I think we've been pretty damn clear.
To Putin that we are together as NATO allies and partners standing strongly.
Yeah, but Ukraine isn't part of NATO. So, did you miss the memo?
Behind Ukraine. Let's send that signal to Putin that we're behind Ukraine. Let's tell Poland that they can move those MiGs to the Ukrainian pilots.
Let's just keep amplifying the war machine. Let's just keep signaling to Putin that we want to keep going. These people are insane. There's no talk of peace.
And we will ensure that Ukraine and our NATO partners are getting all of the support that they need. Mm-hmm. America has to be on the side of freedom. It's who we are.
Okay, well, I've had enough of you, Joni. Now, why would she be so opposed to Pete Hegseth? Well, maybe it's because how much of the war machine flows through her state? From what I understand, there's quite a few contracts that her state gets. And with that, her state gets all this money. So when the money goes to Ukraine, it gets back and it comes back to the defense contractors in her state. Yeah. So we have this. Our military exists to defend America and destroy her enemies. Pete Hegseth will refocus the DOD on that mission. Let's listen to, this is Mike Lee, the Utah senator.
Expect him. Get this, Larry. He wants to take the Department of Defense and make it about defense again. Wants to make it about projecting a lethal, intimidating, powerful military force, rather than a woke enterprise engaged in a grand social experiment to placate the leftmost base of the Democratic Party. That's why they're fighting him so hard. That's why we need him, and I expect him to be confirmed and to do a great job as the Secretary of Defense.
Yeah, see, the left wants to continue the wokeism in the Department of Defense, in the Pentagon. I mean, you saw all the crazy stuff that was going on during the Biden administration. They want to keep the crazy going. But we have Senator Kevin Cramer. Here's what he told.
Named after my very long and very frank discussion with Pete, after talking to people and friends of Pete's who know him personally, after looking through all of the information, all the allegations and accusations against him by people who are unnamed, if there are people at all, I absolutely believe that Pete is the right person for the job at this time. I've always liked his attitude about kicking down doors and changing the processes and disrupting the place. I've always loved the fact that as a face for peace through strength, Pete has a great one, because I always say that we talk a lot about deterrence. We talk a lot about nuclear deterrence, and we usually reference then some sort of a weapon system. But deterrence isn't just a weapon system; it's an attitude, it's a culture, it's a system that includes the leadership itself. Pete is all those things. Plus, he's a warrior's warrior. He's somebody that the rank and file military men and women can look to and go, finally, there's somebody at the helm that represents us, not just the guys with stars with stars on their shoulder, which I love them as well. Don't get me wrong. But Pete convinced me, and all of the accusations and allegations against him have convinced me that they're either not there or at least nobody's talking. And so I think we got to move on with this. Let's get Pete across the finish line. If we can.
Look, the far out liberals try to smear him. Okay, they're going to try to smear other cabinet nominees. There's no question about that. But they should fail, because there's no evidence with Pete. I mean, I don't want to even go through it. We've talked about it on the show. The police report never brought charges. The main thing is, Senator Cramer, his agenda for the Pentagon. Give me a minute on that, because that's the most important thing. He's going to bring new life to the Pentagon, to the Defense Department, to warriors, as he has put it and as you just put it. America needs peace through strength, as Mr. Trump has put it. What do you hear from his agenda?
Well, one of the things that he talked a lot about with me, and it really resonated with me, and that is the processes of things like even acquisition, research and development. Why do we spend years researching something when you can turn to Silicon Valley and there are probably 3 or 4 or 5 or maybe 10 entrepreneurs that already have an idea using things like AI and new technologies? But we're caught in this long traditional rut of making simple things hard. He wants to get to making hard things simple with integrity, with dignity, but that was the thing that resonated as much as anything, Larry, is the process that moves things along quicker. Listen, we have to move at the speed of China. We do not move at the speed of China if we're going to keep up and catch up and get ahead again.
And we have this here. This is really interesting. Okay. First of all, we have the Washington Post is attacking Pete Hegseth so much that it's now decided that the Bronze Star, which Hegseth was awarded twice, is meh and not very impressive, which is weird because the Washington Post wrote tons of articles about collusion hoaxer Robert Mueller's Bronze Star. And they have a couple links here. Bronze Star, like those Hegseth earned, are common among military officers, Washington Post. And then we have all this. Opinion, Trump's miserable crew has never been so desperate. Daily 202, prospect of Trump's firing Mueller keeps becoming more. Opinion, someone get this man a lawyer. Yeah, so the Washington Post, they've got their knives out for Pete Hegseth. But look at this. Would you support Kari Lake replacing Rhino Joni Ernst in the Senate? That's all the talk that's been online today. Joni Ernst, her opposition to Hegseth is, think about this. Gunter Eagleman writing that Kari Lake could primary Joni Ernst. And there was some question as to, well, wait a minute. Wait, Kari Lake's from Arizona. Why would she suddenly transplant to Ohio? Why would she do that? Well, apparently Kari Lake is actually from Ohio. That's her home state. Now, I think it would be kind of strange if she did go to Ohio and with all of the I'm with Arizona, I'm going to fight for Arizonans and all that kind of language that she's been presenting. But if we have to unseat a rhino in Ohio, by all means, by any means necessary, okay? Here we have a former DOD official, Elbridge Colby, on why Pete Hegseth should be confirmed. This was on CNBC.
For why he'd be an... Pete Hegseth's been out there in the Senate making the case as well as on media. He's got a lot of allies coming out for him, vouching for him. I think my view is that, frankly, the president of the United States deserves a presumption that the people that he nominates, should be the ones who serve in those positions. I think we talked a little bit earlier. What do this pick mean or that pick mean? I think this is Donald Trump's agenda. It's putting Americans first. It's ending the forever wars, as he said. I don't start wars, I stop them. So I think that's the way I look at it. In terms of how the Senate's going to react, that's obviously sort of unpredictable. But I think Pete and others are making a very strong case for why he'd be an excellent Secretary of Defense.
This is it here. DC Drano, he says, okay, hear me out. Kari Lake was, I said Ohio. I meant Iowa, excuse me. Kari Lake was born and raised in Iowa. What if she returns home to primary Joni Ernst in 2026 and takes her Senate seat? That's been the talk. Look at this post, got 2.9 million impressions, 7,500 responses. Okay? Let's dive a little deeper and see some of these folks here, what they're saying. Say what you will, but Kari is really good at winning GOP primaries, and that's all it would take to win in dark red Iowa now. Chuck Calesto, that could work. She's from Iowa, has the national profile. What do y'all say? Juanita Broadwick, she is chiming in. Great idea. Arizona's always been rigged against Kari. Time to take it home. And that's a sad fact that Juanita's bringing up. They rigged it against her in the governorship. They rigged it against her in the Senate race. How many more times are you going to let them rig it? And how much she fought so damn hard in that state, and the cards are stacked against her. I hate to see her walk from that state, but maybe it's time to go to a state that she can win. I want to see Kari Lake succeed. I want to see her in a position where she can bring her intellect and her style and her her vision and execute it. Let's see what other people are saying. Gunther Eagleman, I support this. Good suggestion, says Ian Miles Chong. Iowa's a red state, but Kari Lake could make it competitive again. Worst candidate I've ever seen. Oh, yeah. If I were her, I'd be fed up with being cheated by the system. Trump should have given her something in the cabinet. I agree with that. I was expecting, well, maybe we'll see something with Kari Lake in the Senate, in Trump's cabinet. Who knows? Jeremy Carl says she's a terrible candidate who lost 2 winnable races. Okay, Jeremy obviously is not looking he's only looking at the surface. Those races were all rigged against Kari Lake. All right. Will Chamberlain, she underperformed Trump by 7 points. Worst performance by any candidate in a competitive race. Okay, I don't like these people. I don't like what they're saying. No, I disagree. Those races were stolen. J.D. Vance had this to say 14 hours ago. Led by President Trump, we're fighting for Pete Hegseth, and we're doing so because Pete Hegseth will fight for our troops. For too long, the Pentagon has been led by people who lose wars. Hegseth is a man who fought in those wars. We've got his back. Donald Trump, he put this out on his Truth Social. Pete Hegseth is doing very well. His support is strong and deep, much more so than the fake news would have you believe. He was a great student at Princeton, Harvard. With a military state of mind, he will be fantastic. High-energy Secretary of Defense. One who leads with charisma and skill. Pete's a winner, and there's nothing that can be done to change that. Benny Johnson. This is also an interesting development. This happened a day ago. President-elect Trump dined. This is in vein with all of these appointments. He dined with Pfizer and Eli Lilly execs at Mar-a-Lago, and he brought RFK Jr. with him. I mean, talk about a savage move. I'll have more on that in a minute. Erica Knight, we firmly believe that Kash Patel's appointment as FBI director will mark a pivotal moment for law enforcement and public safety across the U.S. So Kash Patel getting a major endorsement from the National Police Association. That is a good sign. We want Kash Patel to get that nomination. I still think that Trump should pull the recess nomination card and get this thing done. Here's what George Beasy Tweets wrote. President Trump is savage for this. Pfizer and other big pharma execs came to Mar-a-Lago to beg and lobby for their devilish interests, and Trump brought RFK Jr. to the meeting to fact-check any lies they might have spewed. The days of big pharma tyranny are coming to an end. Can you imagine? I could only imagine the look on those pharma execs' face when they got to sit across the table from RFK Jr. Oh, man, they were probably just sweating bullets. Brooke Singman, she's reporting here, new current and former U.S. national security officials and lawmakers say when looking at Kash Patel's resume objectively, he's one of the most experienced people to ever be nominated as FBI director. And more opposition is coming out against Tulsi Gabbard. But I think this is really funny. Look what's on the screen. Nearly 100 national security officials have reportedly signed a letter expressing opposition to Tulsi Gabbard's confirmation as National Director of Intelligence. Are 50 of those the same people that signed on to that Hunter Biden laptop letter that's saying was Russian disinformation? I mean, these people have no credibility anymore. I mean, they could say 1,000 national security officials and it wouldn't make a difference. Okay? But this is what the deep state does when they're trying to derail the America First agenda. All right? They all circled the wagons when Hunter's laptop was discovered by a laptop repair shop. Oh no, it's Russian disinfo. Social media swarmed, suppressed any talk of it, any coverage of it. New York Post getting literally locked out of their Twitter account for reporting on it. I mean, give me a break, guys. So you and your 100 national security officials can go take a hike. We don't care. Not at all. Here's this. Pete Hegseth, he had a fiery press conference on Capitol Hill. Let's listen in.
Pride in the media. You fight, you go do tough things in tough places on behalf of your country, and sometimes that changes you a little bit. And by the grace of God, and my Lord and Savior, I had an opportunity to come on up out of it and do great things with great veterans organizations that fought for vets, that fought for reform at the VA and for war fighters, and at the Fox News channel to advocate for those very same causes. And I'm proud of what I fought for. I'm not going to back down from them one bit. I will answer all of these senators' questions, but this will not be a process tried in the media. You fight, you go do tough things in tough places.
And we've got a longer version of that clip. That was only 30 seconds. This is a little bit longer. Blistering statement from Pete Hegseth.
And I'm proud of what I fought for. I'm not going to back down from them one bit. I will answer all of these senators' questions, but this will not be a process tried in the media. I don't answer to anyone in this group. None of you. Not to that camera at all. I answer to President Trump, who received 76 million votes on behalf and a mandate for change. I answer to the 100 senators who are part of this process and those in the committee. And I answer to my Lord and Savior and my wife and my family. I'm proud to be here. And as long as Donald Trump wants me in this fight, I'm going to be standing right here in this fight, fighting to bring our Pentagon back to what it needs to be.
What have your conversation?
Wow. Former National Security Advisor Robert C. O'Brien on the Kash Patel angle. Kash Patel is right for the FBI. Coming from the Wall Street Journal, President-elect Trump has assembled one of the most diverse and capable cabinets in American history, and he's done so at record pace. His nomination of Kash Patel to be director of the Federal Bureau of Investigation is an excellent choice that adds further luster to the new administration. So that is a good sign. Okay, so this is what I mentioned earlier about Joni Ernst. Beard Vet posted this a day ago. Do you know what state supplies billions worth of artillery shells to Ukraine? You guessed it, Iowa. Joni Ernst doesn't want that to end, hence a no for Hegseth, because he wants to end wars. And she actually lobbied to sit on the Doge caucus. Yeah, did you know that? We reported that the other day. Isn't it interesting? So she's going to sit on the Doge caucus. At the same time, she's going to try to oppose Pete Hegseth, but the pressure's mounting on her. I'm going to show you what she recently posted. Okay. Pete Hegseth posted this a day ago. Maybe it's time for a Secretary of Defense who's led in combat, been on patrol for days, pulled a trigger, heard bullets whiz by, called in close air support, led medevacs, dodged IEDs, and understands to his core the power of this photo because he's been on that knee before. Okay? Man, that hurt. That hits hard, man. That hits real hard. Pregnant redhead about Joni Ernst. Her no vote on Pete Hegseth has gotten us all to look closely at who Joni Ernst really is and realize why she needs to be primaried, hence the talk of Carrie Lake stepping into that position. Listen to this. Here's Charlie Kirk posted this 13 hours ago. Pete Hegseth's lawyer, Tim Parlatore, is now threatening to sue women behind what he calls an extortion attempt for a breach of confidentiality agreement. And all this stuff, to me, when you know these women coming out and they're making allegations, it all feels like we're going right back to the Kavanaugh hearing. All these people coming out of the woodwork. Where were they before? Right? They only seem to show up when there's some kind of an appointment on the line. Let's hear what Pete Hegseth's lawyer has to say.
Settlement agreement
today that Pete Hegseth has done is denying that allegation of sexual assault. That was kind of one of the first things that came up after Trump picked him to be his defense secretary. He has denied it fervently. It was settled in an agreement with this woman in 2017. Yesterday, when you were talking to Jake Tapper, you said that you believed it's extortion. But of course, as you know, extortion is also a crime. So if you felt that it was extortion, why not go to the police at the time?
Oh, come on.
Well, it was a decision that we made, and the email from the attorney. It was something that I don't know if it quite rises to the level of a criminal extortion that the police would take it on, but I think it certainly does meet the definition under the California law for civil extortion, and it was something that we were considering at the time. And quite frankly, with the violation of the agreement, if he is not confirmed as the Secretary of Defense, we may still bring a civil extortion claim against her.
So if he is not ultimately confirmed because of these allegations, you may take legal action against the person at the center of that agreement.
Absolutely. If the false claims of somebody that was part of an extortion that was then put out in violation of a settlement agreement ultimately causes him to lose his future employment opportunities, then yes, that is something that is worth bringing a lawsuit against her and her friend and potentially even the attorney for, yes.
We've heard some people say that she should be released from that non-disclosure agreement that was part of the settlement agreement. Is there any consideration between you and Mr. Hegseth of doing that?
What a dumb question.
Well, so first of all, it's not a non-disclosure agreement is something where one party agrees not to disclose. This is a confidential settlement agreement that had confidentiality on both sides. That agreement has since been breached by her. And so as a result, I sent notice to her attorney that agreement is no longer has any force and effect. That's one of the reasons why I can talk about it here, because prior to that, the agreement prevented Mr. Hegseth from talking about her conduct. So there is no NDA to release her from. And if she wants to go and talk about it, she can do it. I mean, certainly she would do it at her own peril of a further defamation lawsuit. But and additionally,
well, that's news.
NDAs,
We didn't. People have been calling for her to be able to speak, and you're saying, I mean, you're his attorney. You're saying that from the agreement which you negotiated, that she can come out and speak on CNN or wherever she chooses.
Of course. However, if she doesn't tell the truth, if she repeats these false statements, then she will be subject to a defamation lawsuit. But no, she's well aware of that. Her attorney was well aware that because of the breach of the agreement, that is no longer in any force and effect. She is free to speak if she wants. I've heard people saying, we should release her so she can testify before the committee. There is no such thing as an NDA that prohibits somebody from complying with a subpoena.
Okay, so you're saying that she could
that's
be.
That's not us.
Wow. You're saying she could be released. In terms of settlement agreements,
she's just drooling now. Oh, she can be released? Oh, call her up now. Get her on CNN. Yeah, she can't wait to try to derail Trump. Brett Marcolis, Trump doubles down on Hegseth's support as media campaign against him appears to lose momentum. Hegseth will be confirmed, he says, but not if Caitlin Collins can have her way. Other nomination news, President-elect Trump announced Thursday night that former PayPal executive David Sachs will serve as the White House AI and crypto czar, a newly created position aimed at advancing U.S. policy in artificial intelligence and cryptocurrency. That is according to the Epoch Times. And as we're discussing what is going on with crypto, let's just check in on the Bitcoin price right now. And it looks like, what? Bitcoin is at $99,306. It broke 100,000 just the other day, and it's still flirting with that number. And Trump is he's a crypto positive president, which is good. And I can only envision crypto is going to go much higher. Okay, so look. Okay, this was interesting. I wanted to share this with you. This was published 3 hours ago. Ellen Sanzel, CSAN. First, it was Matt Gaetz. Next, Pete Hegseth. Third, Tulsi Gabbard. Know it and recognize it and reject it. This is the anatomy of the smear. Initiation often starts with an anonymous or unverified accusation, especially timed to influence an election or nomination process. And then the propagation utilizes media, social media, or other platforms to spread the narrative, often without substantial evidence. The objective, to derail a political nomination, election campaign, or public figure's reputation by creating doubt or negative perception. And that's exactly what they did with Matt Gaetz. And Matt Gaetz backed out. Now, I don't know if there was really maybe there was a bigger game to play there. Gaetz pulling out of that position. He resigned from Congress, and now there's a possibility he might run for governor of Florida. Of course, there's been talk that DeSantis might actually be appointed to head the DOD, but Trump and Vance are firmly behind Pete Hegseth. But there's also, like I said, the opportunity for Gaetz to be appointed into the Senate. And there's also talk of Laura Trump being appointed to the Senate by DeSantis. We'll watch that. This can be really interesting to watch how this all plays out. But be aware that, if they go after, if they already claimed Matt Gaetz, right? They're running around victory laps. Yeah, we got Matt Gaetz, right? Well, if Pete Hegseth drops, if their smear campaign works and he drops out, which appears that it's not thus far, they're going to go after Tulsi Gabbard next. They're already going against her. And then who comes next? They're going to go after RFK Jr. and anybody else. I mean, listen, they would love to take out RFK Jr. So we got to stand behind these nominations. We have to, of course, we have to be critical. We have to look at them. I mean, I'm not entirely enthusiastic that we have a neocon like Marco Rubio running Secretary of State, but, we're going to hold his feet to the fire. Here is J.D. Vance on Pete Hegseth.
Pete Hegseth is going to get his appearing before the Senate Armed Services Committee, not a sham hearing before the American media. We believe that Pete Hegseth is the right guy to lead the Department of Defense. That's why President Trump nominated him. We're not abandoning this nomination. We're not going to make it easy for people to allow the Secretary of Defense is Donald J. Trump, who just won an election by a very significant consent of the United States Senate. That's who determines who the Secretary of Defense is. I fully support Pete. I think Pete's going to get confirmed, and we are completely behind him. I have talked to Joni. I've talked to a number of my colleagues about this nomination and about other nominations. All I'm asking is that people actually allow the Senate process to work. We do not determine important government officials based on anonymous sourcing from the American media. We determine who our officials are through the nomination process, the advice and consent process of the United States Senate. That's how it should happen, and that's how the president's nominees are going to work through this process.
Yeah, they're just trying to try him in the court of public opinion. Here we have, this is earlier this week, a lot of people thought that Pete Hegseth was going to be gone by today. Let's listen to Scott Jennings on CNN. I just love this guy, taking CNN to task.
He was confident, so a vote of confidence in his guy, but also realistic. He didn't say he's been assured that he will be confirmed, so it tells me that he's got some realism here, that there's still a process that they're going through. Hegseth has some work to do. But I think early this week, a lot of folks were thinking Hegseth was going to be gone by today, and I think he's in better shape today than he was when we started this week. The PR offensive to get back on track, I think, is working, and having Trump come out tonight and strongly say, this is my guy, he loves the military, it's a good, he was confident.
And Trump did, in fact, come out. We're going to get to that in a second here. He did go and interview with NBC News. Donald Trump says he thinks Pete Hegseth can get confirmed in an NBC News interview. Let's play a clip from that.
Looks like Pete is doing well now. I mean, people were a little bit concerned. He's a young guy with a tremendous track record, actually. He went to Princeton and went to Harvard. He was a good student at both, but he loves the military, and I think people are starting to see it. So we'll be working on his nomination along with a lot of others.
Since you bring him up, do you still have confidence in Pete Hegseth?
Yes, I do. I really do. He's a very smart guy. I've known him through Fox, but I've known him for a long time. And he's basically a military guy. I mean, every time I talk to him, all he wants to talk about is the military. He's a military guy. Looks like...
these media people make me so sick. Like, just watching her lean into that question right here. Like, since you bring him up, hoo-hoo. Yeah, if this was a couple months ago, her fangs would have been out. But of course, that's what you expect from the media. And then there was this interesting, they're all saying that Pete Hegseth has got a drinking problem. All right. Real America's Voice, Stinchfeld, had this to say.
Be blunt with you.
Senator, is he currently drinking, or has he just said he's not going to touch alcohol if he becomes...
Well, I didn't ask him if he's had a drink today or if he's currently drinking. My commitment that I was looking for was that he won't drink. He won't touch alcohol, and that he'd be ready for a phone call at 3 in the afternoon or 3 in the morning and every hour in between.
Now, let me tell you something, folks. I'm going to be blunt with you, honest. I'm an open book when it comes to my life. I probably have 1 or 2 vodkas every night.
Maybe 3.
There's a couple nights during a week I might skip. I never am out of control. I never lose control. I never lose control of my faculties. I never get flat out drunk. Pete Hegseth doesn't need to stop drinking. You know, a cocktail at night, that doesn't mean he can't be defense secretary. Who are these high and mighty reporters? I would love to know what reporter asked that question and then go down to the local bar in Washington, D.C. and who's drunk on the end of it. Probably that reporter. And these senators are saying don't have a cocktail. I just told you at the beginning of this program, I'm sure they're toasting scotches in the members' bar. All of them are hypocrites. It is outrageous to me. Again, more reasoning to stand up for Pete Hegseth.
Oh, and even Trump was asked about this.
You don't drink yourself.
No.
You've talked about how devastating drinking can be.
Yeah.
How concerned are you that the person who you picked for this top job at the Defense Department, at least according to those who've worked with him, has struggled with drinking?
But I've spoken to people that know him very well, and they say he does not have a drinking problem.
There you go. I mean, the media is out in force, and this is Joni Ernst, right? Nick Sortor, 21 hours ago. Today, folks in Iowa and across the country are honoring the life of George Floyd. This chick needs to be sacked. She is not on the side of we the people.
Today, many people across the United States are honoring the life of George Floyd.
Yeah, that's all we need to play for that clip. And the pressure's getting to her. 5 hours ago, she posted this. Pete Hegseth and I will continue our constructive conversations as we move forward together in this process. We plan to meet again next week. At a minimum, we agree that he deserves the opportunity to lay out his vision for our warfighters at a fair hearing. Yeah, maybe she started seeing all that talk about primarying her with Kari Lake, and she got a little bit nervous, right? 4 hours ago, USA Today, Pete Hegseth vows he won't drink a drop of alcohol if confirmed as defense secretary. I mean, really? Stinchfield just laid it out. These people are all drunk in Washington at the end of their day. So spare me the high and mighty attitude these people have. And speaking of confirmations, Bernie Sanders is actually considering supporting Robert F. Kennedy for HHS secretary. That's a good sign. I think what he's saying about the food industry is exactly correct. Bernie Sanders looks like he's backing RFK Jr. That's good news. 10 hours ago, Bernie Sanders confirmed he's considering supporting RFK for HHS. Let's listen.
Foods and the food.
I think what he is saying about the food industry is exactly correct.
Senator Sanders, as chair of the HELP committee, has really sounded the alarm on ultra-processed foods and the food and beverage industry, drawing comparisons to the fight against big tobacco decades ago. Interestingly enough, RFK Jr. has also talked a lot about food policy, additives, taking on the food industry. That's something part of his platform. It's taken off online with the Make America Healthy Again movement. So I asked Senator Sanders if that's an area where he could potentially work with the Trump administration if RFK Jr. is confirmed.
I think you have a food industry concerned about their profits, could care less about the health of the American people. I think they have to be taken on. I think, on the other hand, when Mr. Kennedy talks about taking fluoride out of our water system, I think what the scientific community will tell you that would be a disaster in terms of dental health in this country. His views on vaccine are very wrong in so many ways. So we will see how the process unfolds. So I think what he's saying about the food industry makes sense to me. A lot of other things that he's saying are extremely dangerous.
Yeah. I wonder who's paying him to say that.
So I tried to press Senator Sanders on if he's made up his mind about President-elect Trump's health picks, how he's preparing for the confirmation process ahead.
We are preparing. We're going to be prepared to ask the right questions. And it's not only the confirmation hearings. It will be discussions that we have behind closed doors as well.
At this point, have you made up your mind, or you're going to go
No, I
through
have
the
not.
process? Any other health related, as the chair of health, are there any other health related picks, agency picks that you're concerned about?
Well, I think I know Kennedy somewhat over the years. I do not know his other picks, so I'm going to have to sit down and talk with him. The other thing I think that's important is Trump over the years, and Kennedy himself, has talked about as a health problem the fact that we pay by far the highest prices in the world for prescription drugs. And if I'm not mistaken, Kennedy has talked about the need for Americans not to pay more than the people in other countries. I think that's exactly right. And I hope Trump keeps his word in terms of going forward in something that he has talked about for years, substantially lowering the cost of prescription drugs in this country.
All the Bernie bros are cheering now. Okay, Alexandra B. And this goes to the point I brought up earlier. You surrendered on Gates, and so they came for Pete Hegseth. If you surrender on Hegseth, they will come for RFK Jr. next. And it'll be someone else after RFK Jr., someone after that. Stop the cycle now. Stand up for all of President Trump's nominees. Laura Loomer posting this. Nikki Haley, listen to this. Nikki Haley couldn't be Secretary of Defense after President Trump said he didn't want her in the second administration. So it seems she's using her BFF, Joni Ernst, to attack Pete Hegseth in an attempt to get Ernst or another warmongering rhino to step in.
Vice President.
Would you be poised to recommend Trump choose Haley as his vice president candidate if he is in fact the nominee?
Well, if he is the nominee, absolutely. I think Nikki Haley is the whole package. She is a very firm leader, and she gets foreign policy. So I really believe in Nikki Haley, and I think she would be an exceptional choice either for president or for vice president.
All right, she did a great job.
Oh, wow. Well, yeah, we don't want to see that at all, do we? No. Nikki Haley, she can go back to her home state and cry in her oatmeal. So we've got a lot going on here with the Hegseth nomination, Trump doubling down, which is good, getting a lot of Senate support. And, I think this is really important. This is probably one of the most important points we need to drive home about the billions of dollars in artillery shells to Ukraine they're manufactured in Iowa. So if Joni Ernst doesn't want that to end, a no for Hegseth. So keep all these things in the front of your mind as we go into the weekend, understanding what might just happen. But it looks like we've got a lot of talk about Carrie Lake coming into primary her. Joni Ernst is getting nervous. But Donald Trump, they're all standing behind him. Going back to the Maha here. Maha is breaking through. Biden's FDA chief was grilled in a Senate hearing today over artificial food dyes, the obesity and diabetes crisis, and the corrupt food industry. He had a shocking moment of moral clarity about his own role in the crisis. So Bernie Sanders, and we just mentioned Bernie Sanders is getting behind RFK. Of course, he doesn't like him on some of the other things, but the message that we have been presenting for many, many years, whether it's vaccines or the health freedom movement, having RFK in that position is absolutely what we need. So the fact that Bernie Sanders is talking could have some influence on other people. So that's what we got. There you have it. The establishment's playbook exposed. Anonymous sources, coordinated media hits, and rhino betrayals. But Pete Hegseth is not backing down, and neither should we. This is bigger than one nomination. It's about whether we will let the swamp keep control of our military or finally put a real warrior in charge. So what do you think? Is Joni Ernst representing Iowa's interests or the military-industrial complex bottom line? Leave your thoughts in the comments below. And while you're standing with Pete, show your support with our exclusive Mag Avengers gear at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. Let the swamp know that we're not backing down. All right, we had a couple super chats come in. Fishman wants me to keep my pants on. Well, if we hit 1,000 tonight, you're going to find out if I'm wearing pants or not. Viv B, dropping $5, and she says, Gary, can you make monthly memberships available to buy on YouTube? Then we can gift memberships to others too. Oh, I didn't know you could do that. Yeah, I was actually looking into that, the membership function on YouTube. I don't. I have to figure out like what like benefit levels there would be for people if we did such a thing. Um, but I guess you guys, if you do become a member, I've seen other YouTube channels that do this. Then on all your chat messages, they get a special highlights. You have special functions and special stickers and things you can show off because people will see you're a member. You get kind of a priority visibility in the chat room, which I think is pretty cool. So, but I didn't know you could gift memberships to other people. That's really interesting. So, Viv, who would you be gifting them to? That's a question for you. And then we got Frosty Sprinkles. I brought this up in that segment. Joni Ernst, I thought this was funny. Joni Ernst better cave in for Pete Hegseth or else she's going to get roasted all over the internet if Elon Musk decides to make memes out of her. Yeah, the memes will flow. Now let's get into our next. Speaking of Elon Musk, we've got a lot to get to on the Doge front. Lots of really awesome news coming out of the Doge. I just love it. The Doge is like one of my favorite things to have come out of this whole movement. And there's a video clip I want to play. I think I've got it here. Okay, I think we can open up with this. This was from I Want Liberty. Yeah. Okay, let's see here. All right, this is good. All right. The bureaucrats are trembling tonight as Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy storm Capitol Hill with their Department of Government Efficiency revolution. Doge isn't just another acronym. It is a declaration of war on bureaucratic bloat. Speaker Mike Johnson has promised a blowtorch to the administrative state, and with Musk's innovative approach, we're about to witness one of the biggest government overhauls in history. They're creating a naughty and nice list for Congress, exposing who's really fighting for the American people and who's padding their pockets with taxpayer dollars. Marjorie Taylor Greene, she's already signed on, and you won't believe who's running scared. And just like Doge is targeting bloated bureaucracy, you need to target out-of-control heating costs this winter while let big energy companies drain your wallet when there's a smarter solution. This incredible portable heater I use slashes my heating bills while keeping my home perfectly comfortable. It's energy efficient, just like Doge wants our government to be. Don't wait. Order yours today at staywarmnow.com and get up to 60% off during their Black Friday special. It's still ongoing. Plus, you'll get free shipping and satisfaction guarantee. Fight back against wasteful spending, starting with your heating bill. Visit staywarmnow.com. Okay, so what would it look like if we went to Doge? If the Doge had their own show. This was just put out by I Want Liberties, and it's absolutely solid gold.
Coming this spring to MXNBC, a groundbreaking series that will change the U.S. government and the world forever. Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy, under the direction of former star of The Apprentice, Donald Trump, will challenge 3 million contestants to carry their load or hit the road. That's right. We'll be asking every government employee to prove their value.
Hi, how are you?
I'm fine.
Just like in a good old-fashioned meritocracy.
Welcome, everybody. Thanks for coming in. What would you say it is that you do around here?
I mean, a lot of days I really do stuff. It's just there's not that much going on today.
I helped Tanner and Blaze replace those heavy 5-gallon water containers.
Tune in each week as Elon and Vivek measure every federal employee's value and efficiency.
And time. So your study on how cocaine enhances the sex drive of Japanese quail, what's that worth to the American taxpayer?
I think it's priceless.
And get ready for the savings as those that don't make the cut get shown the door.
The president wants to tell you something.
Firstly, thank you for coming in today. And second, you're fired.
The Emmy Award-watching viewers of Deadwood and Idiocracy present Doge Days, the purge of the U.S. government.
There is a whole forest of dead wood out there. We got to get chopping, buddy.
Oh, man. The gloriousamerican.com. Man, that was absolutely beautiful. I love that. So the Doge. Can we all agree every federal agency should be disarmed? If we're going to keep the FBI, we ought to let them be the federal police force. We shouldn't be arming EPA climate officers, IRS tax officers, and so on. EPA shock troops just made their first arrest. Did you hear about this? Yeah. Biden's EPA has hundreds of armed climate change officers ready to arrest Americans. Biden's EPA has brought hundreds of thousands of rounds of ammo, hundreds of firearms, and body armor for its climate police. The EPA made its first climate change arrest of Michael Hart of San Diego this year. It expects arrests of hundreds of thousands of Americans in the future. This is a post by Amuse. Yeah, the EPA, armed and ready to fight, but so is Marjorie Taylor Greene getting ready to go all in with Elon and the Doge. There's Elon's son. She posted these pictures on her X account just a day ago when Elon and Vivek stormed into Capitol Hill. Here is, this is following that meeting. Here is what Mike Johnson had to say. Speaker of the House.
Mr. Speaker, very productive meeting. Listen, I'm just saying, this is a very productive meeting with Republicans from the Senate and the House.
Mr. Speaker, can you come here, please?
No, I can't. I'm late for a portrait unveiling. I cannot miss that. But they're finishing up the last few comments. There'll be a lot more that's expressed in the days ahead. I doubt that Elon and Vivek are going to give many comments today because we're in the early process of this, but stay tuned for more to come.
Are you going to get Social Security, yes or no?
I do not have a portrait.
Social Security?
Yes, you bet.
How was the meeting in there and your role taking on as a subcommittee?
I thought the meeting went fantastic. It was exactly what we were looking for, a question and answer session with Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy. They were gracious with their time. Many of the members, pretty much almost all of them, lined up at 3 mics and went through the process of expressing their concerns, their frustrations, also talking about bills that they have sponsored and their ideas of how we can truly tackle this massive deficit, cut spending, and lower inflation.
What was the number one concern expressed in there overall?
The biggest concern is our debt. And as a country, it doesn't matter where you fall on the political divide. This debt is going to crush every single one of us. And to quote Elon, he said something extremely important. Every single payment that the federal government pays out, we need to be checking those payments to see if they're legitimate. And that's something that hasn't been done. I don't know if it's ever been done. There's a massive amount of waste, fraud, and abuse that we have to tackle, and I will be doing that with my subcommittee, and I am looking forward to exposing every single unelected bureaucrat, every single agency that is wasting the American people's money, and the big government departments that need to be exposed for how they're not serving the American people.
Is there a call to cut $2 trillion in spending by 2026?
We didn't mention an exact number. All we talked about was cutting spending. Elon and Vivek talked about having a naughty list and a nice list for members of Congress and senators and how we vote and how we're spending the American people's money. I think that would be fantastic. But one thing is for sure, if we can cut spending, we'll be lowering inflation, and that'll be good for everyone.
When do you start work on your subcommittee? When does that kind of start?
Well, as we all know, the next Congress will convene on January 3rd. It'll take a few weeks to do the order of business, setting up committees and subcommittees, and then we'll be getting ready to roll towards the end of January.
Did Musk say that he would expose and shame Republicans for not cutting spending? I know that Chip Roy said that he had proposed that and Musk had agreed with him. Did he agree with him?
Elon said that there will be, he said, a good list and a naughty list. They also have great ideas that they'll be working on with Doge. Now, this will be separate from Congress. They're talking about communicating with the American people, perhaps maybe even a weekly podcast or a report, so to speak. They want to bring in members of Congress and senators and let the American people hear from them about their ideas and the programs that they're trying to work on, bills they're trying to pass. But the biggest, most important thing that Elon wants to bring forward for the American people is information. His big concern that he talked about today is how many Americans don't even know that we have a deficit or a debt of $36 trillion. And he feels like if we can educate the American people, getting the American people on board, it puts the right pressure where it belongs on the House and the Senate to do this job correctly.
Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yeah. And here is Marjorie Taylor Greene again. This was back in November 26th. And here's what she's talking about then.
Deep dive, too.
Tell us what you see as the most government waste.
It's all over. Every single government department, program, grant programs, contracts, it is everywhere. And so when we look into a deep dive into this massive problem that's caused America to be $36 trillion in debt, we're going to have to go into all kinds of buckets. And that's how I'll be separating things on the Oversight Subcommittee on DOGE. We'll be looking at everything from government-funded media programs like NPR that spread nothing but Democrat propaganda. We'll be going into grant programs that fund things like sex apps in Malaysia, toilets in Africa, all kinds of programs that don't help the American people. I want to talk to the people at the Pentagon and ask them why they can't find billions of dollars every single year and why they fail their audit. But not just that, too.
Toilets in Africa. Elon Musk pointing out just a day ago, going after the New York Times as a woke warmonger propaganda. Is the New York Times the most dangerous news organization in America? It seems like it is captured by the military-industrial complex. And posting some of these headlines, you can see how to choke Iraq, bombing Iraq isn't enough, all these things. And Pentagon spending, they can't even pass an audit. So we know that the Pentagon is in the crosshairs of the Doge. But Hakeem Jeffries, he can't figure it out.
Yeah, it's unclear to me what exactly the objective is related to this so-called Doge initiative.
I think
From
it's
our
pretty
perspective, we want a federal government that is effective and efficient and equitable. And to the extent the other side of the aisle shares that objective, which is what is right for the American people, then we'll see if there's common ground that's possible. Democrats will, of course, have to be directly involved to the extent that there is any legislative aspect of this, and we will, by necessity, be engaged because it's clear that the incoming House Republican majority will not be able to do much without us.
But what can President Trump do? I think that's the question I really want answered. If all of a sudden Elon Musk and Ron Paul and Vivek Ramaswamy show up in the Oval Office with a spreadsheet and they're like, Trump, look at this. They're spending this much on toilets in Africa and these apps and the shrimp on treadmill and right. And can Trump just like take a line and through like executive fiat just cross them all out? I mean, is it that easy? I hope it is. Be a lot of pissed off bureaucrats though. But this is when Elon showed up. He had his son on his shoulders. Absolutely beautiful to see that. Here's Tim Burchett when he left the Doge meeting, and here let's listen to what he had to say about it.
The key to the whole thing is, hey everybody, Tim Burchett, just leaving the Doge meeting with Elon and Vivek Ramaswamy, and I think the key to the whole thing is going to be, the key to the whole thing is in that room. If Congress doesn't have the guts to do those things that they're talking real big about, it's just a waste of time. They'll do away with executive orders. and unelected bureaucrats who put rules and regulations on us. But if Congress doesn't have the guts, and that's what scares me. I vote against a lot of stuff. There'll be 15 or so red dots on the board, which means we voted against horrible spending, and there'll be about 400 green lights on the board, and that's going to be the problem. My friend Chip Roy is right here. Chip,
hey, how are you?
Knox, East Tennessee.
Great
everybody.
Americans?
I was just telling them that the problem's in that room.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, 100%, and that we've got to have the guts to pull the trigger.
Yeah, our friends Elon and Vivek can do a good job exposing it, but then we got to actually do our job. So I hope they do it, and then we'll have to hold our colleagues accountable.
Right on.
See you, brother.
Amen. Thank y'all. Thank y'all for sitting here.
That's awesome. That's awesome. A little cameo there. The Doge team on Capitol Hill. Scott Jennings commented on the Doge initiative on CNN. Scott Jennings for the win. Let's see what he said.
The government is too. To me, it's not just the money, which, they'll have to fight with Congress about. It's the fact that most people believe the government is too big, that the bureaucracy stacked on the bureaucracy crushes a lot of people, crushes a lot of small businesses, kind of puts a stranglehold on a lot of things going on in American life. It crushes innovation. Right now we have federal government unions negotiating with the Biden administration to let some of these federal employees work from home for years and years and years, stuff that started during the pandemic. Now they want it to continue for years and years and years, cutting deals with Biden on the way out the door. This drives people crazy. Like, why does the government get so big? Why are there so many people working there? And why do they get so many perks and such good salaries when I don't feel like, as a taxpayer, I'm getting that much out of it? So to me, yes, you're right about where the money is, but there's something to be said for just shrinking the size of government and jettisoning the stuff that nobody believes is necessary. Donald Trump was, and he has clearly stated from the minute he got into this race in 2015 that he would not cut Social Security and Medicare. It has never changed. That's number one. Number two, here's what I heard about the meeting today, that it went great, that they were very upbeat. There was a vibe of teamwork. Elon's kind of the visionary, but I'll tell you what I heard was that Vivek gets it. That was the phrase I heard today. He gets it. And so you have two guys here, they're creative, and with Vivek, apparently he came in armed with a lot of technical knowledge about how to achieve some of the things they're talking about. But they're not going to cut Social Security and Medicare for people. Is there efficiency to be saved in the bureaucracy? I'm certain that there is.
Oh, but this was probably one of my favorite parts of the day. We had this. Ron Paul, 8 hours ago. Here's an easy one for Doge. Eliminate foreign aid. It's taking money from the poor and middle class in the U.S. and giving it to the rich in poor countries, with a cut to the facilitators in between. Americans don't want their government to borrow more money to spend on foreign aid. Besides, it's the most immoral transfer of wealth, and it is unconstitutional. And he posted this chart. Largest donors of humanitarian aid worldwide in 2023, the United States. And this is in millions of dollars. And this looks like it says $9,489 million. Now, the good part, now this is where it gets kind of exciting, is that who went ahead and quote tweeted it? But it was Elon Musk himself who quote tweeted it. Here it is. Elon Musk quote tweeting Ron Paul, Doge will address this with full transparency for the American people. The fact that I'm seeing Ron Paul putting this message out, Elon Musk responding in the affirmative, it warms my heart, man. Because you guys know how much I love Ron Paul. He is near and dear to my heart. And, speaking of all this government waste, we have to talk about this as well. What happens in Western North Carolina, because the amount of waste at FEMA, the amount of money that they decided to give to illegal immigrants and leave our American people out in the cold, literally, people are dying. Joe Biden pledging $1 billion to Africa. Matt Van Swal, FEMA's press conference today, was insanity. They claimed people in tents was misinformation, then admitted tents exist, but they're all heated, acknowledged non-heated tents exist, and the Red Cross had to give out 3 heated ones. What is this about? Okay, let's listen.
As well. Good afternoon. We're hearing questions and concerns about the presence of tents after the storm. Directly after the storm, we did have a lot of people utilizing lightweight tents, and that's one of the things that we did a canvassing effort for. Although these reports are being shared and elevated through social media, with that social media being from within and a lot of times outside the area, these may not always be the case. Canvassing efforts confirmed that there were no lightweight tents that were being used. We do have some tents that are canvas tents that have a heating source in them and are designed for cold weather that people are utilizing in some of these areas and utilizing that to provide the support that they need. And we have some people in other structures as well on their property. As we went to Swannanoa, we found that several tents were being utilized, as we stated, some of the stronger, heavier weight tents with a heating source, but we also found a need for 3 additional tents, the canvas tents with a heating source and generator that were supplied in conjunction with the Red Cross to these residents.
Okay. Now, here's where it gets really sad, that the person who posted that actually, I'm trying to find the piece here. Okay, so this, what you're seeing here, more heroes for Western North Carolina. 29 campers being delivered to Western North Carolina to get families out of the cold by Operation Hilo on TT. They have so far delivered 155 campers to Western North Carolina. These people are American heroes.
You be safe.
And see what you're seeing. This is real people doing real work, not FEMA giving convoluted answers at a press conference about whether tents or not are being used. Okay, this is the heart and soul of America, coming to the aid of the people. All right, and what I'm excited about is DOGE coming in and cleaning up a lot of this mess so that FEMA can actually be efficient and can actually deliver the resources needed, not based on if you have a MAGA sign in your front yard or the color of your skin, based on equity. Okay? That's what needs to change. We also have this. I want to bring up, I got to find that video. Oh, yeah, there's a Democrat who was arrested. We're going to play that in a second. Let's play this. This is Speaker Mike Johnson talking about other things that they will be defunding.
By executive order. And,
so 2 specific examples, Planned Parenthood and PBS, are in congressional control. Are you planning to axe both of those?
I would like to, that's for
Spending
sure.
for both of those?
Yeah, we got to build consensus to have the votes to do that. Now, some of this will be done by executive order out of the White House.
Absolutely.
He has a broad authority to do a lot of that.
Yes.
But where Congress is involved, that's where it takes.
He answered my question. Executive order can take care of it. Thank you, Jesus.
The hard work of legislating and getting everybody on the same page. So there'll be lots of ideas that come out. We don't want to put too many of it out right now, okay? But this is part of that, preparing the playbook to unleash and unroll in January. So.
Well, we know that something like...
Yeah, PBS and Planned Parenthood, yeah, they can go. Say goodbye. And speaking of FEMA, we have Vice President-elect J.D. Vance arriving in North Carolina to help those who've been forced to live in tents in the cold after Hurricane Helene. So, Trump and Vance, they recognize the suffering of the people, and they're on the ground doing the work and investigating and getting real solutions, which is what we need. Where's the clip? I had it here. Oh, this is the clip here. Okay. This is heartbreaking. 12 hours ago, unbelievable. 3 Hurricane Helene victims found dead, froze to death in their tents. Western North Carolina Hurricane Helene volunteer says, guys, we have a confirmed dead 3 people we found in a tent and froze.
From where we were, and that's I think we got a little leak around an air conditioner we're going to have to fix. It's colder than whiz. Ponds froze. Water's froze here at the camper again. We'll make it, though. It's all right. I'll get it thawed out.
So he goes, just days ago, Chimney Rock mayor said he doesn't mind hurricane victims sleeping in tents in the cold, and FEMA was doing a great job. James O'Keefe also just made a trip to the area and confirmed with residents they were sleeping in tents and have not seen FEMA. However, Joe Biden has pledged billions of dollars overseas. Unbelievable. Now, this guy, Sean Hendricks, apparently, I guess he won some kind of contest with Mr. Beast some time ago. But this is what's interesting about this guy, Sean Hendricks. He put out this message. I want to speak with you. I want to speak with J.D. Vance about the work Operation Shelter has been doing. A list of scammers and grifters that need to be brought to justice and how the government can really help in 46 days. Please help me get this attention. And we're finding out Sean Hendricks actually posted that Vance saw the message on social media. So FEMA's complaining about social media. Oh, you guys are posting misinformation. Well, this guy, Sean Hendricks, got a direct response and actually met with J.D. Vance to get real solutions for these people who are freezing to death in Western North Carolina because of the misappropriation of funds out of FEMA. Now, we're finding out this, speaking of, corruption, this Boston City Councilor has now been brought up on public corruption charges. 5 counts of wire fraud, 1 count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds. Again, these are line items that DOJ can address and audit. So this woman here, well, she's now just been indicted. We got video footage of that. Let's listen in on this press conference.
Earlier today, Boston City Council member Tanya Fernandez Anderson was arrested on federal public corruption charges. These 6 felony charges stem from an alleged kickback scheme that she orchestrated to obtain several $1,000s in taxpayer money in exchange for a bribe she paid to a staffer she gave her a very large bonus. The indictment charges Ms. Fernandez Anderson with 5 counts of wire fraud in violation of Title 18, United States Code 1343, and 1 count of theft concerning programs receiving federal funds, violation of Title 18, United States Code 666. According to the indictment that was returned by a federal grand jury earlier this week, Ms. Fernandez Anderson was facing financial difficulty in 2023. Part of that financial difficulty stemmed from a sanction that was imposed by the State Ethics Commission of $5,000 for Ms. Fernandez Anderson hiring immediate family members in her Boston City Council office. And in around that same time in 2023, Ms. Fernandez Anderson, the grand jury alleges, patched this scheme to funnel bonus payments, taxpayer money into her own pocket in the tune of approximately $7,000. Specifically, despite the fact that she was under investigation by the State Ethics Commission, Ms. Fernandez Anderson hired another family member on her staff at Boston City Hall to handle constituent services. That staff member was related to her, but Ms. Fernandez Anderson falsely represented to City Hall that there was no familial relationship. That is staff member A in the indictment. Ms. Fernandez Anderson then went on to tell that staff member A that she would give that person a $13,000 bonus. That bonus of $13,000 was more than twice as much as Ms. Fernandez was paying to the rest of her staff combined in bonuses. But that supersized bonus came with a hitch. Ms. Fernandez Anderson told staff member A that she would need to fork over $7,000 in cash back to Ms. Fernandez Anderson. Staff member A agreed. The indictment alleges that after staff member A received the deposit of approximately $10,000 after taxes in her bank account, staff member A was directed to make cash withdrawals. And she did that in the days following the receipt of the money in her bank account. $3,000 on May 31st, 2023, $3,000 on June 5th, 2023, and $4,000 on the afternoon of Friday, June 9th, 2023. And shortly after that last cash withdrawal, Ms. Fernandez Anderson and staff member A texted each other, and they arranged for a meetup in a bathroom in City Hall. That meeting happened in the bathroom around 4 o'clock or so on that Friday. And when they met inside that bathroom, Ms. Fernandez-Anderson put $7,000 in cash in her pocket, the grand jury alleges. All of that money was funded by the taxpayers of the city of Boston. When faced with financial hardship and that State Ethics Commission $5,000 sanction, Ms. Fernandez-Anderson chose to violate her fiduciary duty and defraud the city of Boston, the indictment alleges, rather than find a legal means to pay off that debt. When her constituents elected Ms. Fernandez-Anderson, she had a fundamental obligation to act with the utmost integrity. Public officials who line their pockets with taxpayer money erode the trust and confidence of the public in the officials who serve them. Public service is a privilege, and all of us in public service have a duty to act with integrity and fairness in all that we do.
Bye-bye. Say goodbye. Oh, yeah. Now, I think we actually have a clip of her. Let's see. This is the clip of her being arrested. This is the actual arrest.
Tanya Fernandez-Anderson has just been taken into custody.
Here's video from moments ago of the FBI outside a Dorchester home. We told you earlier this week the city councilor is under federal investigation, but neither she nor the city would tell us why. Officials cited the U.S. Attorney's Office, saying the integrity of a grand jury investigation would be impaired by disclosing information.
Fernandez-Anderson has represented District 7 since 2021 and has faced several scandals. Last year, the State Ethics Commission found she violated the conflict of interest law by hiring her sister and son and raising their salaries. Fernandez-Anderson agreed to pay a $5,000 fine. Just last month, the state office of Campaign and Political Finance sent her campaign a letter saying it had not timely filed deposit information and had taken contributions over the legal limit. We, of course, will continue to update you on this breaking story. Once again, Boston City Councilor Tanya Fernandez-Anderson has just been taken into custody.
What a total moron. Oh, yeah. I think we actually, I don't know if we have footage of her ranting and raving. I thought maybe we did. But, speaking of, misappropriation of funds, remember that, Kamala Harris, right? Her campaign, they're $20 million in debt. Remember that Call Her Daddy podcast that she did? And that whole set that she did it on, well, it's been revealed that it cost $100,000 to recreate the set of that podcast. Well, the girl who did the podcast, she got called out to her face. Listen to this.
Walls could.
There's a little bit of controversy about that podcast because you did.
Oh.
Do you know about this?
No, what?
Because in D.C., this interview happened in D.C.
Yeah.
In a hotel.
Yeah. Not in a hotel. It was like a random house.
It was like random house. But apparently, you can tell me, they spent, meaning the Harris campaign spent like $100,000.
I did see
you
that.
know about this?
It's hilarious.
To build the studio.
Yeah, that's not true.
Not true. To make it look like it was the studio that you used in L.A.
My studio that is gorgeous in Los Angeles doesn't even cost 6 figures. So I don't know how cardboard walls could cost 6 figures, but.
But do you think they did that? I mean, you saw it.
Absolutely not. With love to them. Oh my God, it was gorgeous, but like, it wasn't that nice. It wasn't like gorgeous marble. Like, no, that was not 6 figures.
There's a little bit of
Wow,
controversy
you hear that?
about.
It was cardboard. And she looked around, she's like, this didn't cost 6 figures, right? But that's what Kamala Harris paid. 6 figures to rebuild a cardboard set that was already constructed in Los Angeles. All Kamala had to do was fly to Los Angeles, do some campaigning, and then hit the podcast. But no, they decided to keep her in Washington, D.C. and build a fake set. My question is, who are the contractors that got paid? Well, I want to see the invoices for a $100,000 cardboard set that even the own podcast host said wasn't that impressive. Okay? That's just all part of this corruption, misappropriation of funds, Democrats just acting absolutely foolishly. And here's another one. This is PBS. Mark K, 12 hours ago, this smug, arrogant, and biased segment about Elon Musk by PBS is the perfect example of why Doge should cut funding to PBS. And as we just learned, yes, it is on the chopping block. Listen to this.
What were they telling Congress they want to do exactly with this department, this so-called department?
This was an unusual day on Capitol Hill. These two men who don't have any official government function at this point were actually the center of political gravity. Now,
they don't have any official government function. Yeah. Karen, call the manager. They don't have any authority.
what we saw from Ramaswamy and Musk was them crisscrossing the Capitol, Musk with his child X on his shoulders. At sometimes you see him there in the photo. As far as we know, they met only with Republicans, but by my count, scores of them, including Speaker Johnson and incoming Senate Leader John Thune. These sessions, sources told us, were largely brainstorming sessions. Republicans who walked out said they felt heard. Most of them, but not all, were enthusiastic about the idea of cutting government in general. Now, I'm told that Musk indicated to House and Senate Republicans late in the afternoon that his goal is getting on a trajectory toward, get this, a balanced budget. That has significant consequences if the U.S. is to get there. Now, their stated goal of cutting $2 trillion.
There's consequences to getting to a balanced budget. Who are these people?
Dollars overall. That is tough. That is ambitious, but that is what they're pitching right now. They say they want to cut the federal workforce. They also want to force workers to work more from the office.
Oh, you have to show up to work. You actually have to go into the office. Yeah. Did you get the memo? COVID's over. All right. Remote work is not required anymore. All right.
And Musk didn't speak in public today, but Ramaswamy did sit down yesterday at a forum, and he spoke more about what he thinks about federal workers, as well as that it's not just about cutting costs, but changing government.
I think part of the project of thinning out the federal bureaucracy, that's less about the headcount expenses, and it's more about actually respecting the rules of the road in the constitutional republic. I'm hopeful it's going to be even good for many of the individuals who may make a transition from government service back to the private sector.
Now, government worker unions do not think it will be good for their workers if they are laid off, and they are taking action now to protect them. And also, they signed a deal with the Biden administration to protect telework. That sets up a real potential clash in the Trump administration over this.
What more have you learned about how these two men will operate and how they intend to run? We keep saying so-called because only Congress, as you well know, has the authority to create a new agency, and this Department of Government Efficiency does not exist.
Right. This is the right question. And this is the question I had the hardest time getting an answer to from Republicans today. What is DOGE? What is the Department of Government Efficiency? It's not a commission, but let's go over what we do know about it right now. This was established by President-elect Trump. He announced it November 12th, just using this title. It is not an official commission. It is not a government division. Now, they have announced, Musk and Ramaswamy, an end date for it for July 4th, 2026. Republicans leaving the meeting today, I asked them, Jeff, what is this exactly? What is the structure here? They said they weren't exactly clear. I asked Judiciary Chairman Jim Jordan, is this subject to freedom of information requests, for example, what they're doing? He said, I don't know. I asked, is this going to need government funding? Not clear. So right now it is two men, two billionaires who are advising, who will come up with a set of recommendations. Sure. This is important because the only structure for this group right now officially is the congressional caucuses that have just launched. And they did that purposely, Jeff. That structure is coming from Congress, congressional Republicans, to bolster this idea.
Oh, what were they? They were conspiring to create a congressional caucus so that Vivek and Elon and Ron Paul could advise. What's wrong with that? These people are terrified of having their funding cut at PBS. So frame that when you watch these people talking, okay? Luke Rosiak, food stamps are one of the biggest government programs, and the number one thing they are used to is buy soda. USDA pays farmers not to grow crops, then pays poor people to buy junk food, then Medicaid pays to treat the resulting obesity. Doge and Elon Musk should replace Snap to Maha and save some money. How Doge could save billions and Maha. Yeah, we could. I think so. Oh, look at this. Here's President Biden a day ago. 2 years ago, I pledged to deliver $55 billion in new investment in Africa to mobilize American businesses to close new deals with African partners. Today, we're out way ahead of schedule, delivering more than $40 billion in investments thus far. Wow. How outrageous is that? Ron Paul calls for Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk's Doge to end all foreign aid. Juanita Broderick posting this. Speaking of corruption, this piece of will never be relevant again. Thank God his days of destroying America are over. Listen to what Barack had to say.
Potentially, there are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power.
Projection.
Either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents. And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure. That's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm.
Projection. 100% projection. Eric Trump, 13 hours ago, think. Government added 52,000 jobs in the month of December, 3 times the number of jobs added to the United States construction industry, 17,000. We are so backward. Thankfully, help is on the way. Elon Musk and Doge. Overall job growth. Government added 52,000 jobs. Hospitality, 40,000. Healthcare, 38,000. Social assistance, 21,000. Construction, 17,000 jobs. George Behezy tweets, the government should never be our largest employer because the only thing it produces is debt and corruption. We need to cut 90% of it. Doge will get the job done. Chuck Calestro pointing that out. Oh boy. We got a lot to look forward to, my friends. This guy, Hakeem Jeffries, man, I don't know what's Doge gonna do. I got no idea. Yeah, because all Democrats know how to do is spend your money. And that's all about to change, my friends. Here is Representative Eric Burleson. And he took over former Representative Matt Gaetz' bill to abolish the ATF. That would be a good thing. It's a rogue agency that continues to violate Americans' Second Amendment rights. It's got to go. So maybe Doge will look into the ATF as well.
Sponsor of, I ask unanimous consent that I may hereafter be considered as the first sponsor of H.R. 374, a bill originally introduced by Representative Gaetz of Florida for the purpose of adding co-sponsors and requesting reprintings pursuant to Clause 7 of Rule 12.
Without objection, so ordered.
All right, let her rip. Abolish the ATF. Cut the fat in government. Get it all over with, man. Balance the budget. Get people healthy again. Stop the foreign aid. I mean, here is this. Speaking of, this is crazy. I bring it up because Elon Musk, he's doing these brain implants too. Listen to this. Jay Anderson. In the year 2020, IBM put neural implants in U.S. prisoners without their knowledge, reporting a great success in suppressing moods with 24/7 biosurveillance. This was highly confidential, but the documentation proving it was released via legal discovery in court. So who authorized that? Who authorized IBM to put brain chips in prisoners? Okay? Is that another government program that could be looked at? by Doge and cut. How absolutely insane. Get FEMA back in line with the American people. Oh, here's that woman. Okay, here's that clip I was looking for. Here's Andy No. Tanya Fernandez Anderson, a woke BLM Muslim former illegal migrant Democrat serving on the Boston City Council, has been arrested by the FBI after being indicted on 5 counts of aiding and abetting wire fraud. Okay, wow, she's off. She's going off. Here we go.
Black woman, what the do I have to do in this council in order to get respect as a black woman? What?
Yeah, well, looks like she's gonna be serving some time, and I thought that this meme was perfectly timed. If you guys have ever seen the movie Office Space, this is a famous scene. And they replaced everyone's heads with Elon and Ron Paul and Vivek smashing the, what was it, a printer? A copy machine? It was the printer. Or the copy machine, whatever it was. Smashing government overspending. Oh, yeah. I thought that was great. Okay. Elon Musk, this needs to be fixed. Should be ruled by democracy, not ruled by bureaucracy. Mike Lee, in a meeting today with Elon Musk, Vivek, Speaker Johnson, referred to the fact that because unelected bureaucrats now make most federal law and control much of our economy, we've been stripped of the benefit of a constitutional republic. Wow. As Vivek noted, the need for Americans to demand accountability from their own government is precisely why we fought and mercifully won the American Revolution. And that got him thinking. Throughout Anglo-American history, we've seen a major upheaval every 75 to 90 years. It's almost like clockwork. Each pivot in American history has been kickstarted by events in just 3 critical years. By reckoning those years, 1776, 1861, and 1937, they're not just random years, they're game changers. In 1776, we declared independence from a large, distant government that recognized no limits on its authority and refused to hold itself accountable to the American people. Sound familiar? In 1861, the American Civil War began, hastening the end of a tragic chapter of our history when many Americans owned other Americans as property, as slaves, with the approval and protection of government. In 1937, progressives in all 3 branches of the U.S. government, with one final push from the Supreme Court, dangerously eroded the Constitution's twin structural protections, the vertical protection we call federalism and the horizontal protection known as separation of powers, all to facilitate FDR's quest to centralize power in the federal government in response to the Great Depression. In the nearly 88 years since the Supreme Court opened this era, on April 12, 1937, the day the court redefined Congress's power to regulate interstate commerce so broadly that nothing remained of federalism and indirectly set in motion Congress's now common habit of delegating lawmaking power to unelected bureaucrats, Americans have lost much of their power to control their own destiny to the people in Washington, D.C. We're about to have another one of those years, one that could initiate the reversal of the immense harm that has been unleashed on the American people by their own government, no less, ever since April 12, 1937. So brace yourselves, because 2025 is shaping up to be the next big pivotal year, only the 4th in our 248-year history as a country. We're on the cusp of setting in motion a new, brighter era for America. This next era must be about reinstating the Constitution's core, structural protections, both the vertical protection of federalism and the horizontal separation of powers. Congress needs to step up aggressively. It's time to open this next chapter where we, the American people, take back control from the unelected, unaccountable bureaucrats who've been running our government like it's their personal sandbox, treating us like they're toys. These bureaucrats churn out nearly 100,000 pages of regulations every year, regulations that not one elected lawmaker votes to enact into law. So, it's time. It's time. And that's why I spent so much time on Doge today, because it is a revolutionary organization from the mind of Donald Trump being executed by Vivek Ramaswamy and Elon Musk, and of course, with the help of Ron Paul and Marjorie Taylor Greene, Mike Johnson, the new subcommittee that's being formed. People are freaking out. You saw that PBS woman, right? You saw Hakeem Jeffries. They know their days are numbered of being able to just, pay out all this cash. So you have Democrats in Boston just taking federal funds and giving it to their friends. And well, thankfully she got arrested for it, right? But these days are over. The revolution is here, patriots. While career bureaucrats panic about their cushy work from home setups, Musk and Ramaswamy are building an army of efficiency warriors. Ron Paul's call to end foreign aid is only the beginning. The question is, will Congress embrace Doge's America First agenda, or will they side with the bureaucratic swamp? Drop your predictions in the comments below. And don't forget to grab your limited edition MAGAvengers gear featuring Ron Paul and Elon Musk on that shirt right there. That's the shirt. I got them as superheroes. Show the world you stand with the Doge revolution. Oh, wow, man. How amazing is that? So much good stuff. Okay, so we got some super chats here. Okay, so Viv, she clarified, when you purchase, what is this? When you $5, thank you. When you purchase the membership, gifting is assigned randomly by the algorithm, usually to those more active in the chat. Interesting. So when you have a membership, that basically you can buy one for yourself, but you can also choose to buy one for someone else. And then that membership is like a monthly reoccurring thing. I wonder how many of our viewers would participate in something like that. If you would participate in that, and you would do like a membership through the YouTube membership function, just put a 1 in the chat room. Let's kind of see a show of hands. How many people would want to do that and get the extra perks of, being highlighted in the chat room, getting extra emojis to play with, and different things like that. I've seen it on other people. So we got Pothead and we got Shelly Belly, Angie Warren, Meyer Lynn. It's only for a month. Okay, Viv, I see. All right, so it looks like we got about 4 or 5 people. Angie says she'd do it when she has the money. Heather says she'd do it. Viv would do it. Wilson, Deb, Edwin, Resto, Eyes Open Wide, CC Ryder, Shannon, Parmis. Okay. Interesting. Very interesting. Okay. May Melt, Frosty would do it. Heather's like, waiting on you, Gary. Brian, we got to set it up. The people want it. Willow, man, you guys, how cool would it be? Like, I think all your names would be highlighted in the chat. You'd be like the elite of the elite for next news in the chat room. Sue, Steve Alsop. Okay. Zero, can't afford it, but maybe somebody would gift it. Taylor would do it. Okay, Viv's like, do it. She wants us to do it, Brian. She really wants us to do it. All right. Okay, Brian, can we do it? Will you do it? Will you help me, Brian? I think we can. It'll be ready. We'll do it this weekend. All right, Brian. Well, I looked at it. You get colored names. D-Day Cobra does it all the time. Special emojis is fun. Okay, so how do we find emojis? Or we just find like fun emojis and we upload them or something? Maybe we could have like an N3 emoji or something. Okay. All right. Jeremy says at 99 cents a month we get a lot of memberships. Wilson's in. Okay. All right. Heather's like, please. She's like, Brian, she's begging you. Have to pay for the news? No, says William. No. Well, you wouldn't. No, I'd still be here doing the same thing. You just won't get any props in the chat room. Other people who decide to. I spent all my money on your big night back in business. Thank you so much. Ask Steve at Agenda Free TV. I think you got a certain number of emojis. I'm not sure how it works. Okay, so what membership levels would you guys want? Because I know that doesn't YouTube take a cut? They take their own cut. They take like 30% or something like that. Okay. Okay, so what you guys got to tell me what membership levels you want. Yes, Catherine, we're going to get to the drone information in the videos. That's later in the show. In our 5th segment, we're going to get to that. If I had to pay it all, subscribe, I'd be broke and woke, LOL, says Steve. Yeah, they take 30%. So I think what we would do, YouTube takes 65%. I thought it was 30%. Okay, so if we were going to do like, if YouTube takes 30% and we wanted to do like $1 or something, like make it like the lowest level, 99 cents a month would be $2,200. That's if everybody was here and everybody was members. Not everyone's going to jump on that, Vicky. So if we said like, okay, $1, if it was like $1.30, times that by what YouTube takes, they would take 39 cents off that. So we'd have to do, I think, $1.40. Yeah. So if we did $1.40, then we would at least get $1 from it. Right? Viv says $1.99. I think that's a good number. Yeah. We could start at $1.99. But then there's all these other like levels. Like you can do like a $5 level. And I think we could actually do private streams for just members too. And we can also release videos that are only for members. I've seen that. So like maybe if I did like a private video on my phone and I'd say, okay, this is just for the members kind of thing. You guys may be able to see, maybe I'll show you some behind the scenes stuff or something. But trust me, there's not much to look at here except for a bunch of cables on the floor and empty Celsius cans. Okay. Yeah, 2,200 in the chat. We're down with you, Gary, says Pothead Kenny. Membership only streams. That would be really interesting. Yeah. 99 cents for entry level, $2.99. Okay. Release your own meme coin. You like the Hawk Tua girl? Yeah. $1.99 would be $120,000 a month on the low side. Come on. Cisco, so no pants. Well, we haven't hit $1,000 tonight, so I'm not standing up until we hit $1,000. Is your studio worth $100,000 too? No, it's actually not. Let's see, these cameras. I've had these cameras since the Revolution Pack days. And these monitors behind me, we got those right after the 2016 election. Okay, so at $1 1,000 would be $1,000, right? But Vicky, they remember YouTube takes 30%. Yeah, Parma stacks, yeah. If you do $5 a month, you get a fridge magnet. Okay, I don't know. We have any? We Heather, we do have a mailing address. We do. Yeah. Angie's here. What's up, girl? A 47-inch fridge magnet, a Gary coin. What happened to Newsmax? I don't know. What happened to Newsmax? Did something happen to them? I think you should charge more than $1. A tote bag. Okay, F. Joe Biden, $1.99, $2.99, $3.99, and $4.89. That's weird. A 47-foot. You want me to make a 47-foot magnet? Pothead Kenny, I love Angie. A Gary coin. No, we are not making a Gary coin. That's not happening. Dismantle big YouTube. Those crooks make YouTube great again. Maybe a gift. A silver coin, a 1 ounce. Oh man, we used to do silver coins back in the day. Gary bobbleheads. You want a Gary bobblehead? Like a Donald Trump? Would you guys who would buy a Gary bobblehead? You want to have a Gary bobblehead? I think we can actually have them made, but a mailing address. Okay. Well, what do you want to mail me? One of our viewers actually just mailed me. She emailed me. I gave her the address, and she mailed me a World War I newspaper about the end of World War I. What happened to Alex Jones? Did something else happen to Alex Jones? Don't tread on me. $2. What happened to Alex? Did something else happen to Alex? We got some other super chats here real quick. Let me just grab these. Kath S. Love your show from San Antonio. Thank you for that $9.99. Angie, we've already made $150 on super chats so far. $150.46 tonight. F. Joe Biden. Why is nobody asking KJP how Biden is promising money to other countries? We're $35 trillion in debt. Well, we did talk about that in the last segment. Don't tread on me. $2. Did you hear what happened to Alex Jones? I don't know. I mean, I know he's been having some issues, but they went through with the defamation, and Alex is bound to lose his OG. Oh yeah, I did hear about them upholding the defamation fine, which isn't surprising. The way I look at that is just a continuation of all the BS he's dealing with. I'm more concerned about who is going to win the auction, because we do not want it going to the Onion at all. Vicky says a $199 a month with 1,000 people would leave you with $1,400 a month. I live in $1,377 a month. Angie says she wants to see a Gary bobblehead. Okay, Angie, you're gonna have to look into that. You'll have to figure out how to make a Gary bobblehead. Maybe we could talk to the new shop guy who runs the next news shop and figure out if he can make a bobblehead. Okay, we're losing viewers after I started talking about all this stuff. We went from 2,600. Now we're down to, we lost 600 people because they don't want to hang out. Oh well. Was TikTok banned? I don't think so, Heather. We have a TikTok. We don't always post to it though. But we got more news to get to. Man, we're only on segment 3. Damn. We've already been broadcasting for 2 hours. Okay. Got more work to do. Let's go. Let's see here. Okay. Here we go. A stunning development tonight as we uncover the truth behind Biden's desperate pardon plot. We're not just talking about Hunter Biden anymore. Sources indicate the White House is preparing blanket pardons for an entire roster of deep state operatives. Fauci, Milley, Schiff, Cheney. The list reads like a who's who of Trump's targets. But here's what's really interesting. Even Adam Schiff is criticizing these pardons. Why? Because reportedly he didn't make the cut. And wait until you hear what Michael Byrd is threatening to reveal if he doesn't get his pardon. The implications are staggering. Speaking of protecting yourself from threats, there's something the deep state doesn't want you to know. Malware attacks have skyrocketed 643% since 2020, with millions of devices compromised. While Biden hands out pardons, who's protecting your digital security? That's why I trust Virtual Shield Antivirus Pro. Their real-time protection blocks threats before they reach your device, just like we're exposing these pardon schemes before they happen. Get up to 75% off on their continuing Black Friday special at virtualshield.com/nextnews. Plus, try it risk-free for 7 days. Don't let your data fall into the wrong hands. Secure it now at virtualshield.com/nextnews. Okay, so we're continuing to track all this talk about the pardons that Politico recently broke. And it's making its way through the news cycle. CNN, we have a clip here from CNN. Even Karine Jean-Pierre was questioned about it. We're going to get her response. Even Adam Schiff getting confronted in Congress. We're going to get his reaction. And we've even got, the guy who killed Ashley Babbitt. We're going to talk about what he's threatening. But let's look at this first. This is a former Obama advisor saying it's smart. It's smart for Biden to pardon Liz Cheney and Dr. Fauci, because the founders didn't intend a twice impeached 34 felony convicted guy to win back the White House. Wow. Listen to this.
Of that. I think actually on the opposite of that. I think that it is actually smart when you have somebody not only in Trump, but in a lot of his acolytes who also hold elected office, who are dead set on carrying out his retribution tour, be it whether it's with Liz Cheney, Dr. Fauci, any and everybody. I think that it's smart. It offers a certain level of protection, but it also helps as a stalwart, because I hear what you're saying about, what the founders intended. The founders also didn't intend a twice impeached 34 felony convicted guy to pop up and run for president and win multiple times. I think that at this point, when you have someone who is operating with immunity, because quite frankly, the Supreme Court gave him that in all aspects, and does not match up to any of the presidents that we formerly had, or any, I think, of the principles of American democracy, you have to have safeguards. And one of the safeguards against a lot of the attacks that the incoming administration and a lot of those who align with it against those that they see as enemies is actually issuing those preemptive pardons.
I do got to say, though, her hair extensions look great. But we've got this, too. This was Chris Cuomo. We posted this to our X account. If you're not following us on X, you need to. Chris Cuomo issuing a warning that Biden's pardon just handed Trump a baseball bat to pummel the Democrats. It's so ironic, first of all, that I'm even playing Chris Cuomo clips. After that pandemic and the stuff he pulled with his brother, and all the garbage this guy spewed on CNN, it is really wild to see him actually coming into a center, some kind of a centrist position. Now, I can't say I can trust it entirely, but he's getting paid by News Nation now, so I guess he'll say whatever the networks tell him to say, as long as the check's clear, right? Let's listen in.
How dare it took exactly 1 day for Trump and the Funky Bunch to seize on the gift that Biden just gave him. Democrats are saying, oh, I can't support Biden's decision. This is about principle. Look, everyone gets protecting family except the cancel crazy people. But this isn't about that. This is about how Biden justified this.
Protecting family. Coming from the guy who he got fired from CNN because he was protecting his brother. Oh man, how rich. Let's roll that back for a second. I'm sorry. I just heard him say it. I'm like, come on, dude. What the heck?
It's about principle. Look, everyone gets protecting family except the cancel crazy people. But this isn't about that. This is about how Biden justified this. I guess I didn't put a fine enough point on it yesterday. So let me say it again. This was a huge admission, what Biden said here. Who knew in the Democrat ranks that Biden was going to say he was pardoning his son, not because it's his son, not because he's got to protect him, but because of political prosecutions and overreach? Who knew? People had to know. People had to know how dangerous this pardon was going to look. And by the way, there may be another coming for his brother, and maybe himself too, who knows? Because clearly what Biden is trying to do is insulate all three of them from funny money probes. That's why you bracket the 10-year period. It's not how that usually works. Usually you'd say, this is my son. This is what he was convicted of. He owns it. He pleaded guilty. That's it. I'm letting him go. He's my son. If you don't like it, I'm on the way out anyway. You would have gotten that. Democrats could say, no one's above the law. Forget it. Nobody believes that. And yet he's blaming his behavior in advance on a corrupt system. Tell me, who does he sound like? is the answer to why the Democrats lost. Because he sounds just like the guy who's supposed to be so much worse. And the Democrats, protectors of the institutions, let it happen. You let a sitting president say, the DOJ on my watch was dirty in how it went after my son. How do you let that happen? And in so doing, you have sealed our fate. You have allowed Biden to validate the exact argument. You gave Trump the exact baseball bat that Trump and the Funky Bunch are going to use to make justified what's about to happen. They are going to beat you to death with the bat you just handed them. They're just going to go after the other side for going after them. This is why you lost. You say Trump is FOS, and then you play the same game. I told you yesterday this would happen. Wow. And it happened today. I didn't think it would happen that fast, but it did. Trump's lawyer. It took
Wow. Wow. Chris Cuomo. And then we got this. Michael Byrne, who shot and killed Ashley Babbitt in cold blood without warning, is threatening to go public unless he's pardoned. I guess that confirms he's guilty of murder. I guess it also confirms there's a J6 bombshell to go public with. Amuse posting this. Disgraced Lieutenant Michael Byrd is demanding a pardon before leaving office. Sources familiar with the White House indicate that Byrd is demanding a full pardon from President Biden to preempt potential charges related to the shooting of Ashley Babbitt. If he doesn't get the threats, he threatens to go public. Well, isn't that interesting? John Jackson posted this. I thought this was interesting. You want your head to explode? Trump was impeached for trying to investigate all the crimes that Joe Biden just pardoned Hunter over. Huh. Now, here is the White House press secretary, Karine Jean-Pierre, confirming President Biden is reviewing other pardons and commutations.
I'm not going. Is the president considering blanket pardons for either individuals or groups of people who are fearful of potentially being targeted by the incoming Trump administration?
So look, I'm not going to get ahead of the president, but what I can say is that the president is reviewing other pardons and commutations, and I do want to lay out a little bit of the history
on the table as president goes through.
I'm just not going to. I'm not going to get ahead of the president. Certainly, the president is looking at reviewing next steps, and there will be more to come. I'm just not going to get ahead of the president. I'm not going to get into hypotheticals from here.
Not going to get into hypotheticals. No, she won't. Former President Barack Obama insinuates that Republicans are responsible for stealing elections and politicizing the U.S. government. Yeah. I bring this up because the theft of 2020, everything that led up after, everything that followed that, all these people are going to now be considered for pardons. Here is Barack Obama claiming Republicans rig elections, weaponize the justice system.
There are going to be times, potentially, when one side tries to stack the deck and lock in a permanent grip on power.
Again, this is absolute projection from Barack Obama here. He's literally like revealing everything the Democrats did.
Either by actively suppressing votes or politicizing the armed forces or using the judiciary, the criminal justice system to go after opponents.
Wow.
And in those circumstances, pluralism does not call for us to just stand back and say, well, I'm not sure that's okay. In those circumstances, a line has been crossed, and we have to stand firm.
The audacity of this guy. Obama just claimed the Republicans rig elections. Yeah. It was the Republicans who cheated, right? Of course, right. Okay. We've got more. We have more. Biden is reportedly considering issue preemptive pardons for several individuals, including Dr. Anthony Fauci, General Mark Milley, Liz Cheney, Adam Schiff, and top aides, according to CBS News. Here is Brianna Lyman. Preemptive pardons prove nobody is above the law. Shtick was never about justice. It was about justifying lawfare. Brianna Lyman of The Federalist.
Weaponize the justice. I mean, for all of this talk about the preemptive pardons, it proves that the nobody's above the law shtick was never about justice. It was about justifying Democrat-led lawfare. Because like you said, Democrats spent 4 years. They threw Donald Trump's allies in jail. They tried to throw him in jail, and they weaponized the justice system because nobody's above the law. And yet suddenly, Adam Schiff, Liz Cheney, and Anthony Fauci may be above the law because Democrats fear that Donald Trump will do to the justice system what they've already done. And I think the key word here is fear, because that is the word that the propaganda press will use if Joe Biden goes forward with these pardons to justify why Democrats are suddenly abandoning this nobody's above the law principle when most Americans understand they never abided by it. But Democrats now have to cover up why they're changing course, and there's no better way to do that than fear-mongering. Poor Democrats are scared, so they can do whatever they want to save themselves. That is what we should watch going forward, is how they cover this.
That's a great point. And Tudor, when we think about the nature of what they've always cared about, we've seen now, a decade of...
I mean, for all...
A decade for Hunter Biden, right? Over a decade for him. Alex Jones says 8 hours ago, I would not be surprised if Biden declares a blanket pardon for all Democrats, past, present, and future. Maybe he will just forgive all of humanity's sins, even showering with, yeah. Everyone's freaking out. Charlie Kirk, Karine Jean-Pierre suggests Biden is seriously considering preemptive pardons for certain White House and Democrat officials. Wall Street Mav, everyone that we want prosecuted, they will pardon. Now confirmed, Biden is going to issue more pardons. Who will they include? Kalshi, we covered this the other day when the story broke about the pardons. Now, the betting markets are showing White House press secretary says she won't talk about pardons, but the odds of Biden's pardons of Fauci are now up 42% that Fauci will get a pardon. Here is Adam Schiff in Congress, looks like the rotunda there, getting confronted regarding the pardons. Adam Schiff criticizes Joe Biden's use of blanket pardons, says they're not a good idea. Translation, Biden denied Schiff's request for a preemptive pardon.
Multiple times.
But can I just ask you about the presidential pardons? Do you think a preemptive pardon for you is warranted?
I've spoken on this before. I don't think the idea of a blanket pardon of some kind is a good idea, and I would recommend against it.
Even for yourself, have you communicated this to the White House?
I've communicated it publicly multiple times.
But can I just ask you about the presidential pardons? Do you think a preemptive pardon for you is warranted?
Do you think it's warranted? In his face, like, if I think I need a pardon, that means I did something wrong. So he runs along, and this guy is a liar to his core. Now, for him to go running through the rotunda there, he's just saying, oh, no. I recommend against it. I don't think it's necessary. I don't think it's a good idea. But in the back of his mind, he's going, man, I hope I get a pardon because I need Biden to save my ass because Trump is going to go after me with guns blazing. I mean, what this poster said here, Paul Zapula says, the way he translates it is that, that Schiff didn't get the pardon. But we don't know yet. We don't know if Schiff got the pardon or not. These are conversations that are still being had. And he wants the pardon. And speaking of liars, this clip is solid gold. Oh, this is solid gold. You know how much I despise The View and how much I despise Joy Behar. They had John Fetterman on, and the Vigilant Fox writes, Joy Behar dies inside as John Fetterman explains that Trump's New York trial was politically motivated. Okay? This is solid gold, man.
Effectively. It is his son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that. But a lot
of course, talking about the pardons for his son, et cetera, et cetera.
It is his son, after all, and people do have sympathy for that. But a lot of people are angry with him about it. What do you say?
Oh, well, I think it's undeniable that the case against Hunter Biden was really politically motivated, but I also think it's true that the trial in New York for Trump that was political as well too. Now is that, and in both cases, I think a pardon is appropriate, and I really think collectively, America's confidence in these kinds of institutions have been damaged by these kinds of cases, and we cannot allow these kinds of institutions to be weaponized against our political opponents. And it's very clear both trials were politically motivated and weaponized that on the other side.
They'll say that about the J6 people too, though, right? That's what they're going to say on the other side. That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial, and now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like now he's a convicted felon and those things, and now for our party we were talking.
Wait. Okay, all right. I'm gonna roll it back in a second because what he just said there. I mean, that's all they've been saying on The View. That's all they've been celebrating, that Trump is a convicted felon. They keep saying it over and over and over again. And he's saying it on The View to her face. Oh, goodness. Oh, John Fetterman, growing on me, guy.
That is weaponized also.
I'm not referring to that. I'm talking about the New York trial, and now the Democrats on our side there were some that were gleeful, calling it like now he's a convicted felon and those things, and now for our party we were talking about criminal justice, and we're now talking about second chances, and now all of a sudden now you're like, well, he's a convicted felon and all these things. And now clearly, again, both of those trials, the Hunter Biden one and the trial in New York for Trump, that was politically motivated, and those kinds of charges would have never been brought unless one side could realize that they could weaponize that.
Senator, many of Trump's...
It is his son.
Okay. Dude, Fetterman just red-pilled the entire View audience. Thank you for that. And he just exposed Joy Behar and all of her toxic rhetoric to her face on her own show. Oh, it's getting good, guys. It's getting good. Trump's not even in office, and things are already starting to change. CBS News reporting Biden considering blanket preemptive pardons for prominent critics of President-elect Trump in both parties to shield them from possible retribution or legal prosecution by the incoming administration. Yeah, go for it, man. Go for it. Pardon them all. Pardon every one of them. Pardon Fauci, pardon Schiff, pardon Milley, pardon Liz Cheney, pardon them all, Joe. Do it. Please. Because when you pardon them, you are officially acknowledging that they are criminally liable. Okay? Now, when Trump gets into office, sure, he could go ahead and they can have all these investigations, they can have all these committees, and they can drag us all through these investigative processes. And you guys know how tedious those are. The back and forth, the committee on the left, the committee on the right, the ranking member, blah, 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 blah. The testimonies, the under oath. You guys know. Nothing ever comes of those things. No one ever gets arrested. It's a show. It doesn't matter if Trump's in power. It doesn't matter if Patel is head of the FBI and Pam Bondi is the head of the DOJ, because these people are going to squirm out of it. They always do. So give them pardons. That's what I say. Give them all pardons. Because then you will expose the absolute rot at the core of your administration for the whole world to see. In fact, I'd rather see pardons. I'd rather see, as sick as it sounds, with the crimes that Fauci has committed against humanity, with the lies that have been spewed by Adam Schiff for years, the venom, the seething hatred, and Liz Cheney manipulating the January 6th committee. Do you ever think those people are going to get actually indicted or see any kind of justice. It will never happen. Ever. No matter who's in charge of the DOJ. So give them pardons. And make them all look guilty. Because a pardon, in my opinion, for those people, make them all look guilty. Oh man, we got more. Tim Walz. See, so as we, Brian, bring up the feed. We're not closing this segment here. As all these talks of pardons are happening, you got Kamala Harris and Tim Walz finally coming to the surface. They're finally showing their faces and doing interviews, trying to explain away the loss. Benny Johnson posting this. Tim Walz argues Americans elected Trump to reject inclusivity, saying he expected the country to choose a more positive path. Yeah? Oh, we certainly chose a positive path, Timmy.
Inclusive. I think we're going to have to understand what type of leadership do they want. We were pledging to be inclusive. We were pledging to bring people in. Donald Trump has said that isn't what he wants. And so if that's what America's leaning towards, I guess for me, it's to understand and learn more about America, because I thought that they were going to probably move towards a more positive message. I think people pledging to be.
So he says we were pledging inclusivity.
To be inclusive, we were pledging to bring people in.
Dude, that whole inclusivity garbage, it means nothing. People rejected it. They rejected all the DEI stuff, and all the corporations are turning against it. Because it's all BS. You're not going to win on inclusivity, okay? You're not going to win on abortion. All right? Trump whooped your ass, buddy. It's because your messaging is... You don't even understand the American people, Timmy. We got some stuff on Fauci here we'll play in a minute here. But here's Kamala. 13 hours ago, Kamala calls on Democrats to think about how we're going to use the limited resources we have after they were resoundingly rejected. I don't know what's wrong with this camera operator, but they got to figure out what they're doing.
And so it's going to be an important year next year. And I know,
and of course, she brings her new her accent. She changes her accent for this audience.
It's going to be an important year next year. And I know that's part of what the conference has been about, to think about how we are going to use the limited resources we have to serve the greatest number of people and to lift folks up. And so I am here also to thank you in advance for that pledge that you have made and continue to make.
Okay, I can't even stand to watch this. It's like so shaky. But you get the point, right? Okay, so she was speaking at the National Black Caucus of State Legislators Conference, bringing the fake accent. Okay, here's another clip from that.
I knew y'all were in town. I couldn't let it go without coming by to say hello and to say thank you to everyone here, all of these extraordinary leaders. I wanted to come by and say happy holidays, Merry Christmas, happy Kwanzaa, happy Hanukkah.
Whoa. Yeah, but she said Merry Christmas. How can she say that? Didn't she? Wasn't there a clip we played before where she's like, how dare you say Merry Christmas?
Whatever you may celebrate, but most important, let's make sure we celebrate each other. I knew y'all were.
Yeah, I knew y'all were coming in. I knew it. So, I thought this clip was great. This is a throwback. J.B. Hassan Pfeffer says, if Joe Biden pardons Anthony Fauci, I'm going to lose my mind. Not only did I lose my mother to this BS, this is Fauci's second act. Don't forget what he did with AIDS. Now, during the pandemic, I interviewed Judy Mikovits, and I had no idea who Fauci was. You know, he came, like, this AIDS stuff happened when I was very young. Of course, I remember hearing about it and all the blankets across America thing, and it was very scary. People were freaking out about it. I had no idea of Fauci's role in it until the pandemic, and until I interviewed Judy Mikovits, doctor, which of course I had to delete that interview, or maybe it was deleted for me. I don't remember. But 30 years ago, Dr. Robert Wilner accused Fauci and others of genocide for their role in the HIV crisis.
By members, we're talking about probably the most horrible scandal and scam ever perpetrated, not only in the name of science, but in humanity and in all history. The great lie of Hitler. It's amazing. I think he would envy the job being done by members of the National Institutes of Health and even the media, especially in this country. And I will put the lie to the individuals of the NIH, particularly Gallo and Fauci and Hazeltine and Essex and the rest of these scoundrels of the worst order. Criminals guilty of genocide, without a doubt. I invite them to take me to court. I wish Burroughs Wellcome would take me to court because they have been putting out a killer drug knowingly.
So, I mean, this is 30 years ago. And Fauci's been at this for years. Here is Liz Churchill posting the Ultra MAGA Party video compilation of Dr. Fauci. It is a great compilation, and it really encapsulates, the other day when the pardons came up, we played the clip from Rand Paul. I went, and this weekend, tune into the Roger Stone show. I will be on Roger's show. We actually pre-taped it earlier today. And in that, I discussed some of these pardons. I discussed with what we talked about the other night with Rand Paul. And Rand Paul's, what he did to Fauci in Congress, basically giving him an opportunity to retract his statement for lying to Congress, is one thing. But the crimes go even further than what Rand Paul was able to reveal just in that exchange of Fauci lying to Congress. But here's Marjorie Taylor Greene taking it to the next level with this clip from the Ultra MAGA Party. Remember these dogs? Yeah.
Like 6 feet. Do you represent science, Mr. Fauci?
I am a scientist who uses the scientific method to gain information.
Yes or no? Yes or no?
No, that's not a yes or no answer.
Yes, it's a yes or no.
I don't think it is.
Okay, well, we'll take that as a you don't know what you represent.
Oh,
But this, as director of the NIH, you did sign off on these so-called scientific experiments. And as a dog lover, I want to tell you this is disgusting and evil, what you signed off on, and these experiments that happened to beagles paid for by the American taxpayer. And I want you to know Americans don't pay their taxes for animals to be tortured like this. So the type of science that you are representing, Mr. Fauci, is abhorrent. You confess that you made up the COVID rules, including 6 feet social distancing and masking of children.
I never said I made anything up.
You admitted that you made it up. You made it up as you went.
I didn't say I made it up.
So are you saying this is fake news, Mr. Fauci?
I didn't say I made anything up.
What did you say?
I said that it is not based in science and it just appeared.
But this is science. And making up guidelines like 6 feet distancing and masking of children. Do you think that's appropriate? Do the American people deserve to be abused like that, Mr. Fauci? Because you're not doctor, you're Mr. Fauci in my few minutes. No, I don't need your answer. That man does not deserve to have a license. As a matter of fact, it should be revoked and he belongs in prison.
Don't suspend.
Here you are without your mask, where you got to go and enjoy the game and sit right next to people not following the 6 feet of distancing, not wearing your mask, and everyone else was forced to stay home and stop enjoying life. And your science here, your science is displayed perfectly in this picture where children in school were put in plastic bubbles because of your science, your repulsive, evil science. And let's go back to your very own email. You said earlier you don't use email. Oh, you do. Right here. This is your own email. where you said the typical mask you buy in the drugstore is not really effective in keeping out virus. I do not recommend that you wear a mask. This is your email. This is your own words. But yet children all over America were forced to wear masks. Healthy children forced to wear masks, muzzled in their schools. And then they were forced to learn from home because of your so-called science and your medical suggestions, while you and all your cronies get paid from Big Pharma. You know that what this committee should be doing? We should be recommending you to be prosecuted. We should be writing a criminal referral because you should be prosecuted for crimes against humanity. You belong in prison, Dr. Fauci.
Yeah, he does belong in prison. Will it happen? I mean, if the pardon goes through, that ain't happening. Sure, would I like to see the DOJ indict him and drag him through the mud? Absolutely. But I guess I'm cynical. I don't have much faith that these people ever see justice. Maybe that will change. Maybe my cynicism will, be proved wrong. Like I said earlier, I don't think that they're going to see justice ever. And if these pardons happen, it's going to prove that these people are all guilty of something. And that's all we need is the proof of their guilt. Do they need to go all the way? I'd love to see it. Love to see it. So we'll have to wait and see if actual pardons do happen. But you know how I feel, guys. You know where I stand on this. It's really difficult to take all this in. So we'll have to wait and see. With Chris Cuomo here talking about the baseball bat and all, we'll see. But Patriots, this pardon scandal, what it does is it exposes the desperation of a regime in its final days. They're not just protecting Hunter, they're trying to shield their entire corrupt apparatus from justice. So the question I'm going to pose to you: will these preemptive pardons hold up when Trump returns to office? If the pardons don't happen, do you have faith in Pam Bondi and the new Department of Justice to actually deliver the justice that we all want to see? Do you have faith? I'm trying to be optimistic about this new administration because I want to see America thrive. I want to see justice prevail. But these people, these deep state actors, are so entrenched. They have their friends and their judges and all the people they work with. But I want to hear from you. So share your thoughts in the comments. And while Biden's team scrambles for pardons, gear up with our new MAGA Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com because the swamp's in panic mode and we're here for it. All right, folks. Let's see. F. Joe Biden dropping $5. No, we got a couple more here. Let's see. Norma Hastings dropping $1.99. Thank you, Norma, for that. Also, another $9.99 from Norma. Sheba Dog squeezing a big red heart. Thank you, Norma. Appreciate that. F. Joe Biden dropping $2. I have 2 words: recess appointments. Yeah, I think we need to have those recess appointments as well. I am all for it. F. Joe Biden also dropping another $5. When KJP started with her BS, doesn't someone say, hey, cut the BS? Is Biden going to give pardons to his cohorts in treason? Yeah. Parmas Dax dropping $10. Thank you, Parmas. Put them all on trial anyway. A pardon doesn't stop due process and would help air out the BS, ruin them with having their deeds shown to the public. Okay. All right. I mean, am I being too cynical, guys? I mean, have I just been too hardened by like all we've seen for so many years? We've never seen anyone actually get prosecuted. We've never actually seen someone go to jail for violating the Constitution or violating the American people. We've never seen it. Maybe we will. I mean, I guess I just want to hear, what do you guys think? Trying to see some of your reactions here. Not seeing any yet. I guess I just posed the question, so we'll see what you guys are saying. William Joseph lost 7 friends, man. Let's see, a lot of acting going on. They got hardened by the demons. No, Gary, the swamp is deep. Deb. Melania will not let the Don forget what they did to their family. Soak Mitch says Fauci needs to be charged with high treason and crimes against humanity. Jessica says, we all know what they did. Trials just go on and on. Wasted taxpayer money. Jessica, you're feeling how I'm feeling. I mean, do you guys want to see me sit here and cover all these trials? I mean, I'm sure it'll be good content. Watching them squirm. I don't know. I guess I'm just a little cynical on this whole thing. Deborah dropping $2. Thank you, Deborah, for that super chat. Much appreciated. We were at $188, just shy of 200 tonight. Are we going to hit 200? You guys going to push us over 200 so I can go to Angie, be like, Angie, we made 200 in super chats tonight. Hey, babe, we made 200. Okay, now let's get, I know you guys are waiting to hear about the drones. That's coming up in the last segment tonight. You're going to want to stick around for it because some of this stuff is crazy. The videos that I've pulled for you guys are nuts. And I mean, I know the thumbnail of the video is about that, and it's important. We got to talk about it. We got to get to the bottom of it. I mean, even mainstream news is covering it. So we're going to get to that after this segment. We do have to talk about these deportations. We got to talk about the border. We got to talk about the border force Trump's putting together, ready to strike. So breaking tonight, Trump's incoming administration is preparing the largest deportation operation in American history. Stephen Miller just dropped a bombshell that the moment Trump takes the oath, he will seal the border shut. But here's what the mainstream media is not telling you. Multiple nations are already in talks to accept deportees when home countries refuse them. Meanwhile, sanctuary cities like Boston are desperately reaffirming their status for sanctuary city, while places like Castle Rock, Colorado are pledging total cooperation. Even New York City Mayor Eric Adams is ready to work with Trump's team on criminal aliens. The Great Awakening is happening. And just like Trump's preparing to protect our borders, you should be protecting your skin from the effects of aging. Here's a shocking fact. After age 20, your body produces 12% less collagen each decade. While the border crisis ages you with stress, why not fight back? That's why I use BioTrust's revolutionary collagen formula. It combines all 5 types of essential collagen for your skin. Get 51% off today at healthwithgary.com, plus receive free VIP health coaching and our skin health ebook. Don't let aging cross your personal borders. Fortify your skin at healthwithgary.com. Okay, we're going to kick this off with a video that was posted by Breitbart News. And the caption says, "You're not going to outrun the cops with that many illegals stuffed in there." Wait till you see. This is video. It looks like dash cam footage from a police car. They tried to run.
Let's go 3, 4 forward, 1080, westbound, I'm second. Bail out. Hey, no se mueva! No se mueva!
It's like a clown car.
Your 20 is like 20 plus bodies on the road. Here.
Al piso! Al piso, hey! Ven, hey! Al piso! Señor! Ven para acá! Hey, get this guy! Go in the back, in the back, in the back, in the back! Get him! Hey, just watch the back. Just don't let him out. Al piso. Al piso. Al piso, bien. Siéntate hasta abajo. Hasta abajo, dame la mano. Dame la mano. Estoy diciendo bien. Las cintas y los zapatos, por favor.
Wow. It reminds me of when I was running from the cops as a kid. Me and all my friends getting chased by the cops. And only like one or two of us get caught, but the rest all go home. Yeah, that was a clown car situation. Oh, man. Okay, so we got this. The Trump border czar nominee, Tom Homan, is ready to team up with New York City Mayor Eric Adams. Says he'll call him tonight. Both want to crack down on illegal alien criminals terrorizing our streets. And here again, we have Chris Cuomo covering this. That still blows my mind that this guy, coming from CNN and the stuff he's reporting now. Ugh. I get this is like, I don't know. Anyway, let's play it.
That go along. So, will Holman meet with Adams? What does he believe can be done? Will you work with him, and is there a fix?
I will meet with Eric Adams. I've yet to talk to him. I actually plan on calling him tonight, but I'll probably call him right after the show. But he's reached out to me a couple times. I've been on travel, but I plan on calling him either tonight or first thing in the morning. I certainly will meet with him. I'm looking for partnerships. I'm not looking for enemies, and I think we both have the same concern on the rising illegal alien crime rate in New York City. I want to help him address that.
Do you believe that you can get the bad guys without sweeping up a lot of not bad guys, except for the fact that they came into the country illegally and all the things that go along with breaking up families, breaking up workplaces, the risks that you know very well?
Well, look, like I said in the first show, our priority right out of the gates is criminal aliens, the ones who are here illegally that committed a crime. And that's why I'm happy that the mayor's reached out, because if they can help us arrest the bad guy in the safety and security of their jails, work with their law enforcement, that means less officers in the streets, less officers in the communities. But when we're forced, when a sanctuary city just keeps releasing illegal aliens with criminal convictions back to the streets, that forces the men and women of ICE to go into communities. And when they find the bad guy, most likely they're going to be with others. And ICE officers are not going to walk away from somebody that's here illegally, that's standing there in front of them. So if he wants less collateral arrests, that's what working together is going to prevent, more collateral arrests, because we're going to have the bad guy in our hands from the beginning and not have to go search for him.
So basically, if they've got him in the prisons already, just hand him over. We'll take care of him from there. If they don't, then they got to go find him on the street, and then there will be other arrests. That's how he's saying. And of course, they're going to be arrested alongside the criminals. Here we have this just in: Trump's nominee, Rodney Scott, to lead Customs and Border Protection. Rodney Scott at CBP and Caleb Vitello at ICE would work alongside Stephen Miller, who was named Deputy Chief of Staff for Policy, and Tom Homan also tapped to be the border czar. NPR reporting that. GOP local leaders, city of Yuma, Mayor Nichols talks about proposed immigration changes in a second Trump term. Let's listen.
Compare that to... Would you say that the border situation here in Yuma is better today than it was 1 year ago?
It is definitely better today than it was a year ago. And the year before that, when it hit 310,000, we're just a third of that. But you compare that to what we normally see, there's still a great disparity between what would be normally good and what people are trying to say, well, this is better and this is good compared to where we were. Yeah, but you're not comparing apples to oranges.
And that's how Yuma Mayor Doug Nichols sees the immigration situation currently in his community.
Again, that's because President Trump is already showing up. not even president, and these illegals know it. Their days are numbered. And we've got this also from News Nation. The migrant masses now quake as President-elect Trump vows mass deportations on day one. They fled chaos back home, but guess what? If they can't handle the new rules under Trump's America First agenda, maybe it's time they pack up and go back.
Good morning.
The countdown is on before President-elect Donald Trump takes office come January 20th, and that has some migrants finding themselves at a crossroads, debating whether or not to return to Mexico, despite the ongoing issues that led them to migrate, or face uncertain immigration policies under the incoming Trump administration. News Nation's Xavier Walton joins us live from Texas. Xavier, what are they telling you, and what are some of their concerns?
Well, hey, Marky, good morning. Immigration advocates say migrants are stuck between a rock and a hard place at this point in time. On one hand, they're scared to actually stay in Mexico with the threat of cartels. On the other hand, many are fearful of what's to come with the Trump administration and his promise really to carry out mass deportations. Here's some new video of migrants leaving Mexico, many traveling from much further out, heading to the U.S.-Mexico border. You can see men also in this video, bathing in rivers on their long trek to the U.S.-Mexico border. And then there's also video of, a Venezuelan woman wiping away tears, says she cries every single day and doesn't want to stay in Mexico anymore. She says, she suffers a lot. At this point, she's just waiting in limbo there. And there's a lot of violence and sexual abuse, enough for her to want to go back home, to not want to go back home, obviously, to the hardship she left behind. Like so many migrants from Venezuela, Cuba, Haiti, and Central America, thousands right now are seeking asylum in the United States, awaiting their appointment with U.S. border officials. On top of the fear from their own countries, many are worried about losing ways to enter the United States illegally, like the CBP One app, a tool used to schedule asylum appointments.
It is an arduous, tenuous, dangerous journey, right? But people are making it because, again, their everyday lives are, there's either no upward mobility or political opportunity, or straight up political repression or violence that threatens their very lives, their very existence, right? So,
okay, so I get it, man. I feel for you guys. I feel for the people who want to come here, but you got to do it legally. You just got to do it legally. Okay?
So people are willing to take those risks in search of a better life.
So President-elect Trump says that those mass deportations are happening on day one. Obviously, that's January 20th. Thomas, that gentleman you just heard from, says that Trump has threatened to deport, 20,000 people per month, Marky. So that's where we're, some of these migrants are, what do they do? What's that decision they're going to make here at the end of the day?
And thanks for watching, everybody.
Yeah. What's going to happen at the end of the day? Well, we're going to find out soon enough. We got this. Trump nominated multiple people on Thursday to round out his team for immigration, customs enforcement, border protection agencies. Trump tasked forceful ally of hardline immigration policies to head customs. Stephen Miller, the moment President Trump puts his hand on that Bible, this is what's going to happen.
Ends. It's going to be at light speed, Sean. The moment that President Trump puts his hand on that Bible and takes the oath of office, as he has said, the occupation ends, Liberation Day begins. He will immediately sign executive orders, sealing the border shut, beginning the largest deportation operation in American history, finding the criminal gangs, rapists, drug dealers, and monsters that have murdered our citizens and sending them home. No one will be allowed to enter the country illegally, and ICE will be empowered in partnership with FBI, DEA, ATF, the National Guard to fully seal and secure the border with CBP and to find and identify the criminal threats that are inside this country and send them back home. We saw that.
Wow. Wow. Talking with some force there. Meanwhile, Gavin Newsom visiting the southern border to trash Trump's tariffs and mass deportations. He is clearly eyeing a run for the presidency in 2028. We'll see how that pans out. Matt Mueller posting this meme. Bye-bye. Go home. Trump's back. Merry Christmas, right? And then we got this from the Boston City Council, voted 13-0 a resolution to reaffirm the Trust Act, which declares Boston a sanctuary city and prevents local law enforcement from cooperating with ICE or for immigration enforcement and protects illegals in their city. Wow.
Boston has long been
Docket 1780, Councilor Louisiane and Mejia offer the following resolution reaffirming the Trust Act.
The chair recognizes Council President Louisiane. Councilor, you now have the floor.
The city of Boston has long been a beacon of hope and opportunity for immigrants. As a city built on the strength of its diverse communities, Boston remains steadfast in its commitment to protecting the rights and dignity of all its residents, regardless of status. The Trust Act, first enacted, as we heard, in 2014 and later strengthened through amendments, is now a cornerstone of our policies. Every year, the Boston Police Department provides us with a report pursuant to the Trust Act on how they've been honoring the Trust Act and not getting involved in any civil immigration detainments. The Trust Act fosters trust between immigrant communities and public safety officials, ensuring that all residents feel safe, reporting crimes and seeking assistance by preventing collaboration with federal immigration authorities on civil immigration matters.
For reaffirming the Trust Act, I believe this legislation is crucial in maintaining trust between our immigrant communities and local government, ensuring...
Okay, we get the point, man. You guys don't want to comply with Trump. Well, you know what's going to happen if you don't comply with Trump, right? They've already said that, Home has already said he's willing to arrest people who decide they are going to deny Donald Trump's authority to comply. Okay? If you got him in the prison, at least give him the Homan. At least hand him over. But what we're going to see on day one, there's going to be a lot of weeping and gnashing of teeth from these sanctuary cities. Leading reports, breaking news, if a migrant's home country refuses to accept a deported individual, the Trump administration has reportedly been in discussions with Turks and Caicos, the Bahamas, Panama, and Grenada as possible alternatives to receive them, according to NBC News. But at least one town, Colorado, Castle Rock, unanimously passed a resolution instructing all cops to comply with any and all deportation orders from President Trump. So you've got Boston City Council voting unanimously to reject Trump, and then you've got Castle Rock, Colorado. Listen to this.
The town council motion in Castle Rock meant to send a message.
I'm admonishing publicly the mayor of Denver for his comments that I would account to be that of insurrectionist rhetoric.
Just a couple weeks ago, Denver Mayor Mike Johnston said he would send local law enforcement to stop federal agents from carrying out Trump's mass deportation plan.
I would like to please motion to direct our town attorney and the attorney staff to begin working on a declaration that would be in support of all efforts to include anything that we can do with our law enforcement personnel to support the deportation of illegal migrants.
If there has been illegal migrants found in Castle Rock and the effort is to deport them, it's simply to ensure that our police department knows that we do intend to follow that order and do intend to follow the rule of law.
It's a motion, less of a directive with less power.
It is, to be fair, more of a statement.
As cities and municipalities fight to either cooperate or not with federal immigration policy, the state is arguing they don't have to comply in court documents in response to a lawsuit brought forward by Douglas County. The state argues the federal government cannot compel states or their subdivisions to participate in federal immigration enforcement, adding Congress cannot conscript state employees into carrying out federal immigration enforcement.
So it's a statement to our own constituency, but it's also a statement to town staff and then also our own police department.
The town council motion in Castle Rock meant to send a message.
I'm admonishing publicly the mayor of Denver for his comments that I would account to be that of insurrectionist rhetoric.
Insurrectionist rhetoric from Denver. Yeah. The Boston City Council voting 13-0 to reaffirm sanctuary city status. But day one, get ready for the fireworks, folks. You're going to see a lot of videos like this. There's going to be a lot of these.
Let's go to 1080 westbound on 2nd.
Bail. Hey, no se muevan!
Oh, man, there's going to be a lot. Day one. Dash cam videos and clown cars.
Al piso!
Buckle up, folks. The message is clear. America's borders are about to mean something again. From mass deportations to sanctuary city crackdowns, the rule of law is returning to our nation. The big question is, will Democrat-run cities resist federal enforcement, or will they finally put America first? That's my question to you. Drop your predictions in the comments below and show your support for our secure borders with our exclusive MAGAvengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com, because the border revolution is coming. All right. Okay, Deb Myers dropping $2 in the kitty. Thank you, Deb, for that. And let's see. We've also got F. Joe Biden. What could the lawsuit be if it came out in court? Fauci released into the world. He'd make Mangala look like a saint. Oh, hey, we just hit over 200. Angie, we just hit over 200. $202 now. Thank you. Where did that come from? That came from Deborah Myers, yet again. She says, the ones who receive pardons should never work in government again, and we may never see, but we have to believe that God will give them justice. Yeah, that's all we can do. That is all we can do. Have I missed it? Just seen it live, Tez Brooks. Yeah, we were live. And your comment just got read. What do you know? Okay, this is what you've all been waiting for. This is what you have been waiting for. Some crazy stuff going on. And believe it or not, been covered by some of the mainstream press, even. Okay. Let's see here. We got video. Just trying to find the right video to open up with here. Okay. Let's see. Okay. The skies over New Jersey are giving up their secrets tonight, Patriots. Car-sized drones moving in precise formation, hovering for hours over Trump's Bedminster property and military installations. The FAA is scrambling to impose flight restrictions. The FBI is asking for public help. But here's what they're not telling you. These aren't your typical drones. They're being launched from the ocean, displaying technology that defies conventional capabilities, and some are even interfering with vehicle electronics. Black Hawk helicopters tried tracking them, and they're still showing up. So something big is unfolding, and we have the exclusive footage. And while mysterious aircraft patrol our skies, winter's bringing another aerial threat, skyrocketing heating bills. Like those drones disrupting electronics, high energy costs are disrupting family budgets. But I found a solution with this incredible portable heater. It keeps my home warm without astronomical bills, providing the security we need in uncertain times. Get yours now at staywarmnow.com with up to 60% off and free shipping. Don't let heating costs hover over your family like those mysterious drones. Take control with staywarmnow.com. It's linked below. Okay, so this was brought to my attention just the other day, and I wanted to bring it to yours. Maybe you guys have been following it as well. So I dug deep into it, found a lot of video, Some of the mainstream press even covering this, shockingly. But here is World News Tonight. This was published 3 days ago. The FBI is asking for the public's help after multiple reports of large drones in New Jersey over the past 2 weeks. Some were spotted near military installations and President-elect Trump's Bedminster golf course.
Skies outside New York City tonight. The drone mystery over New Jersey, seen flying near President-elect Trump's Bedminster golf course and near a military base. The FAA now taking action. And here's Aaron Katursky.
Tonight in central New Jersey, a mystery in the sky.
What the heck?
The FBI is now investigating multiple sightings of swarms of drones hovering menacingly overhead night after night for the last several weeks.
I can see 3 drones just in this view. There is another one over here and another one back here.
The drones have been described as larger than what a hobbyist might fly.
They made kind of a low hum, similar to what you would expect from a plane, a smaller plane.
Some of the drones have been spotted close to a military installation and President-elect Trump's Bedminster Golf Club, where he frequently stays. Tonight, the FAA says at the request of federal security partners, it is prohibiting drone flights over Picatinny Arsenal Military Base and Trump's golf course. From the Hindenburg to War of the Worlds, David, New Jersey has seen its share of aerial intrigue. Tonight, authorities say they understand the public's concern about the drones, but they say there's no immediate danger. David?
Okay, there's no immediate danger? So they must know something, right? What are they hiding from us? Very interesting, right? Here, this was published a day ago. Truth Poll X, this is New Jersey. They definitely want to be seen. They're clearly not hiding. This means they felt the need to show themselves, which probably means something bigger is coming. If they didn't have to show themselves, they wouldn't. UFOs and UAPs have an agenda. We have to start asking ourselves, what is it? So look at some of this footage.
Where'd it go?
Dude!
Holy shit! You gotta be kidding me!
The lane just
Oh my god, it was badass! No, serious!
It wasn't there before, guys. It was over here.
Yeah, it was horizontal, then it rotated and disappeared. Yeah, it disappeared once when
It's disappearing again.
What?
Yeah, we were sitting there. It was over there first. And it just disappeared as soon as you guys came out. And now it's came. Whoa. It's back, guys.
It's right there.
There's something up at the top too, like it's back around right now. See it's turning white light.
What are the lights turning on and off for?
I wonder if that's
What's on fire above it right now?
Man, if I was there, you know what I would do? And I had a drone, I would send my drone up to go and look and try to get a closer look as best as I could. Now, here's what's interesting, okay? And I don't want to just come out and say these are UFOs or UAPs or whatever, but we did just have that UAP hearing in Congress, and I felt that we should probably present Nancy Mace's comments regarding that classified UFO briefing, because I don't know, are they UAPs? Are they surveillance? Like the China blimp or the China balloon? Is this something similar? Why is it flying over these military installations? Why is it going over Bedminster, where Trump lives occasionally, right? So I figured this was important to hear her remarks in context of all of these things.
It did not come up. It did not come up. We talked about it. Several different UAPs that have been in the press or leaked. Most of those have been explained, and they explained how they came to that conclusion, but there are ones that we discussed that are unexplained. And they have a plan, they say, to disclose and declassify how they came to that conclusion and why there's still objects that are unanswered.
mentioned the shapes. What is it about the shapes of these drones?
There are certain shapes that are unexplained, that are in the air. I'm in a classified setting, so I will let Arrow, I don't want to cross over and disclose classified information, but there are certain shapes consistently that are unexplained, which is fascinating. We did not come up. We talked about
so like shapes, like this video we just saw, these things appearing, lights. It doesn't make any sense. This is posted a day ago. Alphonsus Elia Jr. People are posting clear cell phone photos and videos of the drones in New Jersey tonight. It's not aliens, but it's aliens, bro.
Oh my God, here we go. Here it is. Are you freaking kidding me right now? What is that? Oh my God, here we go. Here it is.
What are these things? Truth Poll X, why Elon Musk is not commenting on the current UAP drone invasion happening in New Jersey right now. I'm sure he knows a lot about it, even though he's acting like he's completely unaware of it. Yeah, maybe Elon could have some answers. Listen to this. This is police dispatch audio. More drones spotted in New Jersey skies. Brand new transmission proves they're being launched from the sea. Something is happening off the coast. Listen.
Down here, 116. 2 to 3. Low flying aircraft, possibly drones, out over the ocean. It's hard to say how far out, but it's going to be at least miles north of us. As I said before, probably closer to Asbury. Yeah.
Let's listen one more time.
Down here, 116. 2 to 3. Low flying aircraft.
2 to 3.
Possibly drones, out over the ocean. It's hard to say how far out, but it's going to be at least miles north of us.
How many miles north?
As I said before, probably, but it's going to be at least miles north of us. As I said before, probably closer to Asbury.
Coming in off the ocean. Totally bizarre. Okay, here's a local report. FAA placing restriction on all drone flights over the Pickaninny Arsenal and Trump National Golf Course. Okay, this is 3 days ago. But this FAA is not stopping these things. What the hell is going on?
In December. Hey, Ernie and Candace, the FAA has placed a temporary restriction on drone flights over Picatinny Arsenal and over Trump National Golf Course in Bedminster. When these drones were first spotted 2 weeks ago, the Morris County Prosecutor's Office said that they posed no known threat to public safety. But people want to know, what the heck are they and what are they doing?
It's normal to see red and green lights in December, unless they're coming from mysterious drones in the night sky.
It's kind of unsettling. They're not up for 15 minutes, they're up for hours. Some are very big, probably the size of a car.
Mike Walsh says he's seen hundreds of them over the past 2 weeks from his Randolph backyard and has the video to prove it.
They kind of go slow, they come towards you, then they'll change direction a little. They're all going different ways.
The drones have been spotted all over Morris County. Morristown police sent an alert to residents Sunday saying they are aware of drone activity and that if a drone crashes or lands, do not approach or handle it. The FBI's Newark field office would only say it is working with other law enforcement agencies to figure out what's going on, but at the moment doesn't have enough information to share.
A lot of people want to know what's going on. I think more people are coming around to that, oh, this is going on and maybe it's not good.
Nancy Reed didn't want to show her face on camera, but says she's seen the drones every night since November 18th.
I can see them right out my bedroom window. I can watch them. Last night was about 5:30, so it was earlier. But it's normally anywhere between like 7:30 and 10:30, they're out here. Never during the day. Nobody ever sees them during the day.
One thing she hasn't seen is the normal air traffic she's used to, and she doesn't understand why.
We're in the fly pattern going to Morristown Airport and Newark, and we used to see a lot of planes coming back and forth. You don't see them anymore.
Now, we also reached out to Picatinny Arsenal because of reports that the drones were flying over the military base. So far, we have not heard back. Reporting live in Randolph, New Jersey, I'm Katie Corrado, Pix 11 News. Hey, Ernie and Candace, the FAA has placed a...
I'm playing the beginning of this clip again because she said something that they also said on the other report.
Temporary restriction on drone flights over Picatinny Arsenal and over Trump National Golf Course in Bedminster. When these drones were first spotted 2 weeks ago, the Morris County Prosecutor's Office said that they posed no known threat to...
No known threat. Okay. So they know something. How could they know they don't pose a threat if they didn't have insider information? That's the clue. Lisa Hill was who brought this to my attention. We had lunch the other day. And I was like, yeah, I heard about this. And I'm like, okay, I got to look into it and cover this. Culture war. Large drone size of cars spotted hovering over Bedminster, particularly areas near Trump's residence. Here's some more footage.
Why don't you go on first, Dave?
I mean, if they didn't want to be seen, they wouldn't have crazy flashing lights, right? Another video, multiple people reporting car-sized drones hovering over Bernardsville, Mendham, Basking Ridge, Morristown, and Bedminster. Police say they know nothing about it, and residents need to report the sightings to the FBI. I mean, look at it. I mean, look at the lights. They're flashing. It doesn't look like a normal aircraft either. Normal aircrafts don't have those types of lights. Here's another video. And then this one.
It looks so much closer in person. Yeah, my camera doesn't do it. Looks like a spaceship, right? Like that doesn't look like a drone, right? That looks like a spaceship. It's like a small plane. It really is like a small plane. It's crazy. Oh my God.
Yeah, see, planes don't have lights like that. I mean, am I wrong? Am I wrong to say that? I mean, I've seen planes fly over my house all the time. I mean, we're in a flight path by O'Hare. And I see planes on approach all the time. I never see them with this number of lights. And clearly, as you see in the footage, you can tell that it has the shape of an airplane. And it has the red and the green lighting, which do indicate that it's following some level of, airplane regulations that we normally would see. But if the feds don't have any answers, like, they're not posing a threat, what do they know? Multiple people reporting car-sized drones. We just played that. Okay, so Philly tech guy, what's with the parade of military commercial-grade drones flying over Morris County? Last night, people saw 7 of them. This was posted a day ago. So these FAA restrictions, they're clearly being ignored. I mean, what does Trump know? What does Trump know about this? They're flying over his property. I mean, is Trump employing maybe some kind of security apparatus we don't know about? But why are they flying from the ocean? Who's going to give the shoot-down order? The drones are flying in New Jersey over Bedminster Golf Course. This is disturbing. No one's doing anything to stop a potential threat to the USA. John says, all right, enough of the F and BS. What's going on with the drones over Bedminster is nowadays no one knows an effing thing. F Biden and the incompetent, corrupt government, MAGA. FAA instituting no flight restriction over Bedminster over mystery drones. Here's that report. Jesse Waters even covered this. Let's hear what he had to say. Let's see.
Bedminster. Something strange is happening in New Jersey. A fleet of unidentified drones are flooding the skies near reservoirs, military bases, even Trump's golf club in Bedminster. Some people are seeing up to 5 at a time.
I can see 3 drones just in this view. There is another one over here and another one back here.
There's a 4th.
That's 5.
The drones are hovering over sensitive areas. Some were spotted over a reservoir, which is prohibited. And they're not operating some tiny toy you pick up at Radio Shack. So why this part of New Jersey? Well, maybe it's because there's a 6,000-acre military base operating there. Oh, and if you drive about 30 minutes, welcome to Bedminster, the site of Trump National Golf Club. This is a major threat. Remember, Thomas Crooks flew a drone over Butler before nearly killing 45. The FAA is taking action, grounding all drones over the military base or golf club until after Christmas. But this isn't the first time we've heard of something like this. A recent report detailed mysterious drones swarming a Virginia air base for 17 straight days just last December. Why? Nobody knows. We're demanding answers about what's going on up here, because the feds don't have a great track history with unknown flying objects. Just ask the Chinese and their spy balloons.
Yeah, I brought that up too, the spy balloons. Remember that? What is going on? Me and Jesse on the same page, clearly. Okay, here's another video. Car-sized drone over Greenwood Airport in New Jersey. Car-sized drone over Greenwood, New Jersey. Greenwood Airport, New Jersey. Oh, and check this out. Mick West. One night of normal air traffic, he says. This is one night of normal air traffic over New Jersey that might get mistaken for drones. Drones exist, of course, but most of the reports from the public seem to be planes, stars, and other non-drone lights in the sky. I mean, they look like planes, but that police scanner radio we heard said they're coming in from over the ocean. Okay, you can see planes coming in from over the ocean there. But if if they were regular planes, then why would the FAA impose flight restrictions? Right? Yeah. Answer me that. Dr. Cheryl Baldwin, with all due respect of the people of Jersey and Bedminster, these drones I'm talking about hovering for hours over NASA Langley in the UK U.S. base were not these tiny little spider drones. These hovering were drone airplanes a few feet long, loaded with electronic surveillance equipment, probably obtaining data for AI training sets for the spy satellites China just launched. Why no action is taken? That's the question. Bedminster Golf drones. Mysterious drones spotted over Trump Bedminster Golf Club military bases. FBI says they have no clue, but claim there's no threat. With all the technology, how can they not know? If they don't know, how can they say these drones are? That's what I said. How do they know they're not a threat? Because they know something. Mystery drones swarm U.S. base. First news, Eric Scott. Look up in the sky. Drone fleet causes panic in New Jersey. FBI investigates mysterious drones over Jersey. No drone zone has been declared. Jay Anderson points out that commercial airlines don't make turns like that. It's definitely not a conventional airliner, but it's obviously human technology. Don't forget just how geopolitically unstable our world is right now. Plenty of foreign and domestic actors who could be doing this. What? Whoa. That's like a right turn. A left turn.
We shouldn't be outside for this.
That's a pretty dramatic turn. How bizarre. Car-sized drone. I don't know, guys. A triangle UFO drone. Look at this one. Been reported over Ocean City near New Jersey. Followed by an F-16. Is the melee about to go down? This was posted a day ago by Truth Poll X. And I think there's some coarse language in this, so just be advised. We'll play this so you can see it.
There they are. There they are. There they are. Oh. Marmora, New Jersey. Here they are. And they do sound like drones. Yo, look. Looks like a triangle. Look. It looks like a fucking triangle. Go. But here they are. They look like a fucking triangle. They look like a triangle. No way. And an F-16 just flew over. No way. They look like triangles.
Wow. I don't know what it is, folks. The drones are flying from the ocean up the New Jersey coast and around Morris County. Here's a formation of them flying tonight. This guy counted 9 of them. You can see the dots flying in a formation from the ocean. Those are not commercial airlines, man. Like that one guy said, you know. Here we have, okay, here's a Fox story. I mean, look at this one. Look at this formation. Those are not Starlink satellites, friends. This was posted 23 hours ago. Drone spotted tonight off the west coast, entering the ocean. The west coast? Are they talking about?
Someone called the cops on these lights.
Whoa.
See, even the police, they're going crazy.
These aliens are attacking.
What are they doing?
The chase.
Look at that.
Oh my god, now cars they're starting to notice. Here comes another. Oh, fire truck.
Look at, they're just disappearing into the ocean. Slasher wife 85 on TikTok. What the hell? Wow. Okay, let's take a look at this Fox report. Let's see what they're saying.
President. A flying drone mystery raising alarms in New Jersey. There are clusters of large drones swarming the skies near the Bedminster Golf Club belonging to President-elect Trump. What is going on? Nate Foy with an update in our newsroom. Hi, Nate.
Hey, Dana. So one witness says it's like a parade. The drones just keep coming one after another, and you can hear them coming because they're so loud. Listen to the power of this drone last night. So residents in Morris County tell me this has been happening every single night with the exception of Thanksgiving over the past few weeks. One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed times. Then they say the clock went back to normal after they drove off. Witnesses also talk about the size of these drones. Some say they can be as big as a small car. Despite the growing concern, though, Morris County officials insist, quote, there continues to be no known threat to public safety. But residents tell Fox they're becoming more worried. The FAA is continuing to temporarily restrict flights over Trump National Golf Club in Bedminster and the Picatinny Arsenal military base. But authorities in Morris County this morning say they have no new information to share as the mystery continues. Dana?
Okay, keep us posted. This is bizarre. We need to know more. Thank you.
Yes, indeed. I'm Steve Ducey.
They are disrupting electronics in vehicles.
This drone last night. So residents in Morris County tell me this has been happening every single night with the exception of Thanksgiving over the past few weeks. One family claims they followed a drone in their car, and while it hovered above them, the clock in their car changed times. Then they say the clock went back to normal after they drove off.
Wow. Interfering with electronics. Fox News reports the drone UFOs in Morris County are disrupting electronics of residents' vehicle. The craft hovered above them. The clock in the car changed time. The clock went back to normal after they drove off. I mean, who knows? Oh, here's more. FBI and FAA are concerned. Look at this.
Drones have been spotted flying over parts of northern New Jersey at night. And from what we can tell, it's been going on for at least 2 weeks. One resident says he's seen the drones almost daily, sometimes as many as 8 at a time. He estimated the larger drones to be the size of a car. The FBI has confirmed they're looking into it, but say they don't have any specifics to share as of Monday morning. Have you seen groups of mysterious drones in your area?
Here's another one.
So that's it. It looks like it's flying pretty low. And from that perspective, it looks very large, right? And all those lights in the sky that you see there, see those lights? Those are apparently drones as well, they say, seeming to fly in a V formation. But the whole saga stressing people out nearby.
We're all completely unnerved. I didn't sleep last night. When I would get up and look out my window at 2 a.m., 4 a.m., they were still hovering. I got up at 5:30 this morning and they were still there. As the sun was starting to rise, they went back in the same direction they came from. And I expect they'll be back as soon as the sun goes down tonight.
Let's bring in Tom Witter. What's up with the mysterious drones, Tom?
Right, Allie. Well, not to go all Scully and Mulder on us here.
Do it.
Law enforcement is concerned about this. They have put out a statement, the local sheriff's office and local prosecutor's office in Morris County. So Morris County, New Jersey, pretty much the kind of the center of where this activity has been occurring, along with Somerset County. So they're about an hour-ish west of here. To throw things at your screen, I know that it could be double that amount of time given traffic, but just to give folks a sense of where we are, referring to New York City. As far as the size of them, multiple eyewitnesses have reported, and obviously we've seen the video here, you've just pointed it out, the size of these. It's not quite clear to law enforcement that they are car-sized at this point, but they do not appear to be kind of the homemade type that would fit on a desk. Whether or not they're the kind that would fit in a garage, well, that's going to be a bigger question. They really want the evidence here, Hallie. They want to be able to get their hands on this or know where they are flying from in an effort to try to figure out, okay, who's doing this, what are they about, and what are they specifically looking at? But officials in New Jersey stress, look, there's no indication at this point that they're a threat to the public. We'd certainly like to know what's going on, and they are encouraging people to call these in.
Why would the FBI be getting involved in this here?
A great question. So the airspace is the FBI's domain. So when the FAA sees something that is a potential violation of federal law as it pertains to the skies, that's a time where the FBI would get involved. And certainly if we're talking about multiple counties, or we're talking about something that could have come from outside of New Jersey, perhaps from Pennsylvania, perhaps from New York State, or the water, they want to have the ability to kind of expand this investigation. And I spoke to them just before speaking with you tonight, and they are looking for people to give them in some tips and to kind of coordinate the response to this. Also figure out what are they actually looking at. There are a couple of military sites in the area, but it's not clear yet that that's necessarily the focus of what these drones are about. But they're definitely...
Wow. Morristown Regional Airport.
Has the video to prove it.
They kind of go slow, they come towards you, then they'll change direction a little.
I don't know, man. Somebody knows something. Somebody clearly knows something. Car-sized drone spotted over Trump's private residence, Bedminster, New Jersey. Controlled airspace. Spy drones wouldn't have lights to be seen by us. These aren't Chinese or Russian drones. For weeks, drones have been flying at night over sections of northern New Jersey, sometimes traveling in groups. Residents are frustrated. Nancy Reed, who lives on Ironia Road in Mendham, told New Jersey Advanced Media on Sunday she'd been seeing groups of drones for long periods of time between 8 and 10 p.m. near the Randolph Regional Animal Shelter. One is stationary. The others are in and out of the tree line. She said in a Facebook message, it's strange. They're out there for hours, never during the day. I don't know, folks. I mean, it's actually getting media coverage. But the fact that they can claim it doesn't pose a threat, that tells me they know something they're not telling us. Which brings me back to this clip of Nancy Mace. You see, they have these classifications for these UAPs. I'm not saying they're UAPs. They could be, they might not be. I don't know. But they have these classifications. That whole UAP hearing was about trying to declassify specific sightings because of the national security threat that they pose. And because of the classification, pilots and other people are having interactions with these because they won't disclose them. So they need to find a way to declassify them so that people can react in a proper manner to these things.
They explained how it did not come up. We talked about it, several different UAPs that have been in the press or leaked. Most of those have been explained, and they explained how they came to that conclusion, but there are ones that we discussed that are unexplained. And they have a plan, they say, to disclose and declassify how they came to that conclusion and why there's still objects that are unanswered.
You mentioned the shapes. What is it about the shapes of these drones?
There are certain shapes that are unexplained, that are in the air. I'm in a classified setting, so I will let Arrow, I don't want to cross over and disclose classified information, but there are certain shapes consistently that are unexplained, which is fast.
So, the evidence is mounting, Patriots. These aren't regular drones. Their presence over Trump's property just weeks before his return to power can't be a coincidence. The real question is, and I want to hear from you in the comments, do you think these are surveillance operations by foreign actors, or is there something even more sinister at play? Share your theories in the comments, and don't miss our new Mag Avengers collection at shop.nextnewsnetwork.com. It's linked below. The truth is out there, and we will be watching. All right. We've got Resto Guy dropping $100, man. Wow, dude. Thank you for that. How awesome. Damn, we hit $326 tonight. I want to thank you all for voting for Trump. You saved your country. God bless you. Resto Guy, man. I see you all the time. Like, that's huge, dude. Thank you. Must have been payday for you. You got your paycheck or something. Wow. And then Jason JV, I brought this up during the segment because it was poignant. He says, I've been seeing these things since 2018 when I was on security detail at a dump site in Northern California, but didn't say anything because who would have believed me then? Precisely. Crazy stuff. Let's check the main chat, see what your reactions are. And let's see here. Holograms. Meet George Jetson. Dry run distractions by Project Bluebeam. Military drones. Yeah, he's a regular viewer. No, I see Resto Guy all the time. Paul says $2.99 will get you a free Hunter Biden finger painting. Oh, goodness. The only thing I know is we can't trust the government. Part of our family. Yes, he is. Resto Guy is certainly. Let's see. E.T. Phone home. Remember Trump saying we had the best military? Let's see. They're aliens this time and doesn't... What? I think they might be flying cars, says Dawn. Congratulations, Gary and Angie. Thank you, Parmas. Yeah, Angie, we hit $326.42 tonight. Beautiful. Okay, let's see here. All right, Brian, we got homework this weekend. We got to set up this membership situation. We got to find some fun emojis for the members to use. The people have spoken, Brian. The people have spoken. Okay. It's getting really late. It's already 1:30 in the morning here. Let's check the main feed, and then we gotta cut out for the night. Let's check in. Okay. Let's see. Insurrection Barbie. I love it. That's why I only use X. The government that controls your social media feed is programming you. X is our only true bastion of digital social freedom. Russia, Russia, Russia. AI crypto czar caught red-handed. Uh-oh. Daily Romania. Told you Trumps are with us. Thank you, Donald, for bringing attention to the coup that just happened in Romania. What happened? Look what's happening in Romania. The Constitutional Court just canceled the first round of their presidential election. Another Soros Marxist attempt at rigging the outcome and denying the will of the people. She's going to lose, and they know it. Wow. Donald Trump Jr. That was 9 hours ago. South Korea politics. Lawmakers set to vote on President Yoon's impeachment 1 minute ago from Reuters. Native root. Don't move without giving them a little love. I'm not sure what that means. Look at the Doge. The Doge flying over. I love it. Tim Walz admits he was surprised by election defeat. I thought the country was ready. Yeah, we weren't, buddy. We certainly weren't. Elon Musk posting, take the L. Take the L. Elon. What? Boeing got twice as much as SpaceX for a fraction of the work. Doesn't surprise me. PDB. I'm a Greek. Rare at these levels, built from the DNA of the ancients, the IQ of the gifted, of the warrior spirit of the Spartans. You all use the PFF of my people, PFP of my people on these apps, but I am these people. Gotta love the Greeks, right? That's why I'm married to one. I'm very against... I'm not even gonna play her. Let's see. Matthew Boyle. I'm told that Brucewitz's meetings on the Hill have focused on a large part on how Trump's successful return to the White House was achieved by largely bypassing traditional media outlets, thereby diminishing their influence. He argued that if Republican senators want to yield to pressure from negative media coverage when making decisions about cabinet appointments, they would inadvertently be handing the media back its power. This perspective was reportedly well received among the senators. For aides present at the meetings, this is a growing theme among Republicans. The establishment media is useless. Trump advisor Alex Brucewitz on the Hill for meetings on the Senate side today. Yeah. I've got his phone number. I should text him. What's up? Oh, wow. What's this? If I wish Kirstie Alley were alive today to see President Trump return to the White House. She was a mega rock star. This was wild. Body cam footage of this shooting. Sebastian Gorka posting a picture of him and Trump. It's not Christmas until Hans Gruber falls from Nakatomi Plaza. I think we will leave it there. Wait, we just did get a super chat from Resto Guy. Another $5. Wow. Thank you. He says, I was watching the Watchers on YouTube. I'm a member. Don't be afraid to charge. We will support you. Oh, man. Dude, thank you. I love you guys. I really do. Couldn't do this without you guys. Couldn't do it without Brian. Couldn't do it without Angie. You guys make it possible. Now, Patriots, what an explosive show we have had tonight. The deep state's an absolute meltdown, and now you know why. So let's recap what we have uncovered. Pete Hegseth, a decorated combat veteran with 2 Bronze Stars, is facing the fight of his life against a desperate establishment that fears real military leadership, but he's not backing down, and neither should we. Meanwhile, Elon Musk and Vivek Ramaswamy's Doge revolution is sending shockwaves through Washington. The bureaucrats are running scared as their cushy work-from-home setups and bloated budgets face the axe. This is what real government reform looks like. And Biden's desperate pardon plot exposes just how terrified they are of Trump's return. They're not just trying to protect Hunter anymore, they're scrambling to shield their entire corrupt apparatus from justice. But in 45 days, the tables are turning. Trump's border team is ready to launch the largest deportation operation in American history. The sanctuary cities are in panic, right? But they can panic all they want. But the days of open borders are numbered. And those mysterious drones over Bedminster, well, is it the deep state's surveillance operation? Or something more sinister? The truth is coming out, and they cannot stop it. So I want to thank all of our incredible viewers who supported us tonight with your super chats and your Rumble rants. Special shout out to Resto Guy and Jason J and everybody who dropped cash tonight. Your generous contributions. Your support keeps real news flowing to the American people. And speaking of support, we can't keep exposing the truth without your help. Visit the links in our description if you want to give a little bit more privately. We have a Give, Send, Go, and a PayPal link down below linked. Every dollar helps us fight back against the mainstream media's propaganda machine. And don't forget to gear up with our exclusive Mag Avengers collection. That's another way you can support us, and you can show the world you stand with the Next News Network. These limited edition designs, they won't last long, so grab yours now. Remember to share this broadcast with everyone you know. Text the link to our special reports to your friends, post it on social media, and spread the word far and wide. The algorithm cannot stop us if we work together. This is Gary Franchi for the Next News Network's Raw Feed, reminding you that the storm is here, and we are your beacon through the chaos. So keep fighting, keep sharing, and keep believing in America. We'll see you next time, Patriots. God bless you, and have a beautiful weekend.